explicit a little bit too much. Like, he kept going back to it, and, like, that's Brooklyn shit, I guess. Like, when you clowning somebody, you don't let up. You just continuously go on and on and on and on. But, like, I was like, all right, son, come on,
I think he wanted it to, like, hit to where people start calling him that.
Yeah, he
and
wanted
it
to
worked.
clown him. Yeah,
You know
like.
But even though I don't like that joke. Because he jumped in the water because of gunshots, yo. Not just because.
But did he say he did jump in the water? Because, like, he's saying he didn't jump in the water. Like, I don't know.
I think he said he did.
It wasn't in the part where he's like, how I jump in the water if I was on land or some shit like that. And I'm like, wait, what? I need to know what
Either
really
way,
happened.
He was drenched. So that's why.
Wait, so that's confirmed.
That's
like,
confirmed.
That's confirmed that he was like.
I don't think he didn't.
So other people was like, yo, nah, we seen him. He was drenched. Like, he jumped in the shit. Because I feel like it was, like, you know, hearsay. Like, he's just making it up. Which works in a battle if you can make people believe it.
They were on Coney Island.
I believe, yeah, but I don't know.
That's crazy to jump in the ocean. Huh?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
it was something that was brought up in the battle.
Yeah.
And he had to run away and jump.
It was gunshots, a lot of gunshots, and he just jumped in the water.
Well, that would be a fucking reason to jump in some.
It is a reason, and they're clowning him, calling him Splish Splash. Like, oh, my bad, man, because you're so gangster that you just stood in the middle of 100 gunshots.
What would you do?
What exactly happened though? Like, what happened?
You know, they had an event out there, a battle event, and they went left, and somebody, just started
shooting at Hollow or shooting.
No, shooting. No, not at Hollow. It was like it was Coney Island beef.
Okay.
And someone died too.
Oh shit!
That's why the people from the hood were like mad that they brought it up.
Oh, because they.
So see, it's the same incident. This is why they're mad because they keep talking about it. Now there's more details coming out.
I didn't know that part. That somebody died. That's
somebody died.
Oh nah.
I didn't know it was that many shots.
How many was it?
Math. I heard because I know the guy who put together the event. Mm-hmm. It's a young guy too, and he's like. He said it was mad. He said mad shots. It was Math made it seem like it was like,
like
shots. We've all experienced. I feel like being in a party and shots go off. It's not a cool feeling. Not a good but it's feeling, normally like I never heard really more than 3 or 4. Like I've never been where it's been like 20, like doom 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 doom, like niggas letting off.
I've never been mad close to 20, like where I felt like I could get hit, but I've been like oh shit, like that close,
but
like
that many shots though.
Yeah, but not close enough to where like if you're close enough to get hit and you hit 20 shots, I might jump in the fucking water too. I ain't gonna lie, like fuck that.
Facts.
Like my life is worth getting wet. But damn, I just
gotta know how to swim because jumping in the ocean.
That's what I'm saying. Like I can't swim like that, so I'm like shit. I might be convinced.
So how was a G?
Doggy paddle your way someplace.
He said,
real quick.
I know you ain't a real nigga because you know I swim. I was weak. Like, damn. So he just kept clowning him.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
You don't mean it.
I'm like shifting my brain. I woke up this morning, tried to write my work to-do list, went and did laundry, dropped my sister off, got ready, came here.
I hate laundry, go.
Okay, you've been productive at least.
Yeah, it's because I didn't do shit yesterday.
You entitled
I was a straight bum until
we're rolling.
Later
Okay.
on. Oh.
You have any kind of You have any sound bites or anything? No, right?
No.
Okay.
I can see if I can pull some shit up really quickly.
No, because you would need the cord and all that.
But do you have an auxiliary cord?
Mm-hmm. Like how Omar normally, since you
yeah,
got the
shit.
laptop.
I'm gonna find something.
He can't get you today. He can't play shit.
Actually, I probably can ask him to just email them really quickly.
Oh, that's okay.
Wait, is that inconsiderate?
No, we don't need that.
No, I just spoke. I mean, it's cool. It's cool. We can just we can make our own.
I'll download something.
All right. So this is episode.
Is this 29 or 30 shit?
I thought it was.
Oh, bad.
Damn, this is bad.
no.
Damn, McCray, we appreciate you even more.
Yo, word. Oh, ain't here. Niggas don't even know what number it is. Like.
Episode number 29.
Yeah,
okay, 29. I'm trying to push us.
Episode 29.
Yeah, 29.
29.
Word for the bilinguals.
Word, let's get right. Well, let me get right into that from last night. So we have a guest today. His name is, he goes by Reem CV. And I just stumbled upon him last night. I was at an event. And I'm bringing it up because we just got into conversation about R. Kelly and stuff, and it was just good dialogue. So I was like, oh, you want to come on the show? And it kind of just happened like that. But he, because he does media himself, so he was promoting it, and he tagged. There's another unpopular opinion podcast.
Yeah, I think there's a couple.
No, it's a bunch, but this one he tagged the wrong one on Instagram.
Oh shit!
So when he tagged them, the guy was like, "Word, I didn't know that," because he was saying it was a picture, it was a video of me and him, and he was like, "I'm gonna be on the show tomorrow." So he's like, "Word, I didn't know that." So I'm like, I thought it was Omar. So I'm like, "Really, Omar? That's mad like whack that you're gonna go on the dude's page and say you didn't know that when I clearly said it in the group chat." But he never responded, Omar, in the group chat. So I'm like, okay,
maybe he didn't.
So I went right to I text him. And I left a comment like, "Really, I text you, right?" And then I went to I text him out black like, "Yo, how you gonna go on the dude's page and be like, word, like that's so like whack and unprofessional, right?"
Like, what?
He didn't even respond. Then
I know he's probably like, what the fuck?
Then the dude Reem was like, "Oh, so I got the handle right." So I'm like, yeah, I'm thinking like, yeah, you did. Then I went back and I'm like, actually, oh shit, you did, right?
Nah, it was somebody else.
So I had to text Omar back like, my bad. I made a little boo. The other unpopular opinions.
Yeah, the fake one.
No, right?
And I've been hearing a lot of like references of unpopular opinions lately, and I don't know if it's because like we've been doing the podcast or
it's in the air.
Mm-hmm.
I had to learn, as a creative, like it's over time. That's why they say, even I don't believe this wholeheartedly. They say that no idea is original, right?
Mm-hmm.
So. And the truth in that, I don't believe it wholeheartedly, but I believe that because the truth in that is that it's in the universe, right? Yeah. So once you put it out, there are other people, like-minded people that are, putting it out there too. Mm-hmm. And it's just like who pops first or who does it first.
That's
what
they say. Sometimes you got an idea, don't say it.
Right.
Keep it to yourself. Don't say it out because once you say it out, it's in the ethos. And
right. And something like that is generic kind of unpopular opinions.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So it's like... but yeah, you're right. I've been seeing it hashtagged a lot. Hey, like a lot of people just randomly like unpopular opinion, and then they'll say some some left type of shit, and But I was saying that I don't totally.
That I listen to regularly for some reason. I've been catching up on them, and like they just had a segment where they were saying it consistently. And I was like,
yeah. So we have to like kind of like Well, we'll talk about that off air.
Yeah.
But let's get into this. Is a good topic of the week. Was that last week or the JessHilarious with the versus the SHAQs?
Yo, I don't even know exactly what happened. Like I don't even know the real details. Yeah.
Okay, so real quick, she was on a flight about to leave, and she recorded herself being pretty ignorant, I will say. She was pretty ignorant about she saw some Muslims fully garbed, and she said she was scared. And she was really, but all right, this is what I want to say, right? So she said she was scared, and it was ignorant, but it was ignorant to the point of, I feel like this is how ignorant people are when they're ignorant about something, right? So ignorant has negative connotations, but ignorant also just means that you don't know, right?
Yeah, that's what the definition is.
Right. So what makes it worse is that she was so aggressive about it, and so that kind of like fueled the ignorance. But to me, on the surface, she was just like, she was fearful. And now I want to say this: I'm not condoning it at all. I have a lot of parts to this whole thing, but I don't think. All right, I want to make sure I say this right because it can be misconstrued. What I'm trying to say is that she was ignorant, right? And then her aggression and the way she recorded herself, I looked at her like genuinely like she was afraid. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm saying we know as Black people what it feels like for people to just stereotype you based on how you look or whatever. You know what I mean? So I get that. But I'm saying that, this is why I know it wasn't a joke, because they tried to say, oh, she was joking, because she did come in her joke voice like, oh, wow, because she saw them, like it was like 5 of them like coming on the plane, and she was like, I'm fucking scared, I don't care, and but she kept going, and she did.
Was she on live or something when she did that?
I don't know if it was live or she just posted it to her some social media, which was stupid. That's the other part that made it more ignorant because you recorded yourself being ignorant. So that's why they try to say, "Oh, you're a comedian, you were joking," you know, and because she recorded herself. That was even more. So she was extremely ignorant. So now she got a lot of backlash. But what I don't. This is all right. So the other part is she did an apology, right? She wrote a sincere apology. She was kind of like crying, and a lot of people, especially black people, wrote her off like, oh, no one cares about those crocodile tears, like you're ignorant, and you know, I'm quite sure she got attacked. So I felt like the tears were real. I felt like she probably was overwhelmed because she doesn't. Sometimes you don't realize your own power. Like she knows that she's popping, but when you do stupid shit like that and you are that popping, all types of people are coming at you. So she's reading it like she probably was crying like I'm not racist. You know what I'm saying? Like, and people are getting at her. So I didn't feel like it was crocodile tears. I felt like they did make her cry. She got educated. Various Sikh Muslims reached out to her to educate her, you know, so she apologized from that standpoint. And remember, my whole thing is that the only thing that trumps ignorance is education. You know what I mean? Like, for you to know. So I felt like when she did the apology from her phone, they were also nitpicking about that, like, oh, she did it from her phone. I think that makes it even more genuine because she's being herself. She's like, I am genuinely sorry. Like, I am sorry. And then she, which I don't know if I believe 100%, but then it was bad timing as well. She may not have gotten as the backlash if it wasn't the day after the New Zealand bombing too. So it's like, what? Like you're fearful. These people just got killed off of ignorance. You know what I mean? And so that was all coupled in that. So that's what I'm saying. She got educated. She claimed she didn't know about that incident, which I don't know how, but she didn't know about that incident.
But even if you didn't know about that incident, like.
Well, no, I think people were coming at her to say like you stupid, be like how you doing this, and
even if it was the day before, even if they weren't Sikhs, even if they were like whatever group of you want to say Middle Eastern descent, whatever, any Muslim group, anything, like why when you automatically see those people would you even think some dumb shit like that when like.
Because media is spewing that ignorance.
Was she trying to do it to be comedic though? Like,
no.
Like, did she take
to me, as a fan of hers, I felt like, if I'm saying, I felt like she was upset. Scared. She was upset, and not so much scared, but she seemed fearful, and when you're fearful, that's what ignorance.
But I don't know. I think the releasing it online makes it you was trying to make a joke.
Yeah.
Because if you was really scared, you could have sent that to somebody. Somebody like in your private life. I feel like the fact that you put this shit online, you was trying to make a joke. And at the same time, if you go into a store or something and they follow you to fuck around, or you go into Gucci or something and you try to buy some shit and they call the cops, you would try to be riffing. Yeah. Oh, I want to hit. Right. The same shit. Like, it's the same shit. There are more Muslims on the planet than any other religion. So whatever small percentage of shit that you want to say, whatever fake terrorism shit, bullshit that you seen, there's no way you could put that on every fucking person. Because then if you go into a store and that, those.
But see, here's my issue.
They put whatever bad shit black people did on you. You can't say shit because you literally just did the same shit.
You're right, but that's where I feel like it's twofold. All right, so the other part in her apology, she also donated, towards the families that that were attacked in New Zealand. Yeah. She did a lot, and to me, I was feeling like in that moment, like, okay. I didn't really respect black people canceling her. I didn't. You know why? Because I feel like these same Muslims are extremely ignorant towards black people every day without apology. And then you can say, oh, two wrongs don't make it right, but really, like, they're blatantly ignorant every day. They do not apologize for it. Now, if we walk around the hood recording how ignorant they are towards black people, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it was the timing of the situation, but I don't think that we need to cancel her based on that.
I don't know if I'm
in the same way that we don't need to cancel Oprah.
Canceling,
but I won't go there right now.
It's not the same.
I won't go there right now.
That's not the same at all.
I knew this was wrong. I knew that
this is black on black. I feel like
that is black on black.
Yeah, but
yeah,
Oprah attacked the black people.
She's
like
not attacking.
She's getting canceled.
At least
for
it's
that.
another.
Like, come on,
yeah.
it's not the same thing.
It's wrong, but it's another. Like you're attacking. Your
I'm saying
own,
she doesn't deserve cancellation by her own.
No, agreed.
When her own. It's one little point. All right, I just feel like she was educated. She made good on it. She was sincere. Move on. Like, if you don't want to rock with her, cool. But for us to be like, fuck her now. I don't know
if it's canceled. Nah, you just did some dumb shit. Like, I'm just saying you did something dumb. I feel like
every time, like, anytime it's a person who's a celebrity, I guess we expect them to have, like, some type of responsibility, right? And I feel like that's why people, like, jump to this idea of, like, canceling people.
Which I'm starting to hate, to be honest. Cancel culture.
Which is why.
No, Oprah she's at her wit's end.
I know, I'm going to put it to the side for now. I'm going to put it to the side.
Okay.
Because it, like, either which way, like, for some reason I connect the two. But I feel like, do we forget that these people are young and oftentimes like it's not that they're not educated, but they're like,
I don't
people
think
get exposed
educated.
to different things like at different levels. Like people are. So the other thing about education, right? When you speak about its subjectivity, it's like knowing something and knowing something like deeply. Right? And, like, maybe she knows comedy and entertainment deeply, right? So she's educated in that realm.
To a degree. I think she stumbled upon that.
Oh, interesting.
It's not, I don't think it's her, like, birthright to be a comedian.
Either which way, like, we put this undue expectation on people to know everything and, like, to know everything right away. Like, she's young and she still has shit to learn. Like, that was wrong. I think the most important thing is for her to own up to it.
And she
say,
did.
Like, I was wrong. And, like... And, like, this, like, oh, let me donate money to New Zealand. Like, if you want to go do that shit before, like, don't front.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
I don't care.
I think it was just an added thing.
It's a gesture. That's
It's a gesture.
Like, but
that we don't ever get in return.
No, which is real, and I get it, but which is why it's also not necessary.
It's not.
You know what I mean?
That's how I was like, oh, you're doing too much.
Yeah. Like, so I guess, like, with that part,
15,000, by the way.
I don't want, so don't make it be pretentious. And, girl, we ain't got 15,000 to be giving away. We don't have historical wealth. Stop giving away money that quickly. Sorry.
I'm like, really?
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like, let's give it to black education. This is not to be messed up. Oh, that is messed up.
She's
I apologize.
very ignorant.
Do give it to the cause that you gave it to. Damn, that was fucked up. Whatever.
Nah, I don't think it goes to anything. Like, that doesn't, like, I don't know. To me, that's not a Band-Aid. Like, that doesn't make it okay. Oh, you donated money to that? Nah, you did some ignorant shit, whatever. Just educate yourself. You apologize and just educate yourself. Like, yeah, the money does nothing.
Like, you got Trump out here not educating himself and saying stupid shit every day. And
I honestly
like, showing no accountability.
I honestly think she was just trying to make a joke. And shit went left. You were dumb to not think that in today's PC culture and maybe not up on your current events the day after that shit happened that you were getting roasted. But you was trying to make a joke. Because if you was really scared, would you go online? You would have hit like.
But she's someone that records herself on the regular, so I don't feel that it was.
Isn't all of that like a part of like the persona of like the comedian shit? Like, I don't think she's ever doing like real, heart to heart, kind of thoughts.
No, I mean, comedians. What makes comedians genius, or what makes them relatable, is that they talk about real shit through comedy. So I mean, I felt like when you watch it as a fan, she had a totally different tone than when she cracks jokes.
Okay, I didn't see
it was
the video.
Serious to me.
I didn't
That's
see
why
it.
it was so ignorant, because it was like, you sound stupid, and then you're going so hard. You like, shut the fuck. What's wrong with you? And then you're recording yourself. So that's what I'm saying. It's a thin line, and she is actually young too. Like, so and I'm not saying she's so young, but I'm saying she's like late 20s, like, she's not quite 30.
There's learning to do.
It's a lot more, and she's extremely ignorant. She's constantly apologizing because she's so fucking ignorant. So she's not only ignorant about, with this, she's ignorant in general. That's what I'm saying. I don't think she's that educated. She's from Baltimore, but that's not stereotype, but
Yo, damn, yeah, let's not do that. Like,
I mean, I wasn't trying to stereotype.
No, I was about to, I was co-signing it. So I was like, let's not, stereotype. But she's not like, the most educated chick. That's why I said I think she stumbled upon. She's a chick that kind of just started talking her shit on, sort of like Cardi. Kind of just started talking her shit on Instagram, got popular for it, and is doing her numbers off of it. We salute that. But because she has said ignorant shit about black people too. She said she didn't understand what the hell is a black dollar. So come on. Dumb shit like that. She is fucking ignorant, and she's always apologizing. Someone always has to educate her. But as humans, we can say, okay, like you said, like you kind of said, she is being educated, like she's going about it like she's not even fully educated on comedy. With that, with that being said, so she's being like we're basically watching her grow the same way we watched a lot of stars grow up. You know what I'm saying? Like she's Instagram famous. I used to say the same thing about Cardi. Like a lot of guys would come down on her. She's so fucking ignorant, but she's just raw and genuine to a fault. And she's being. At that time, she's like under 25. She's being educated because she chose to live her life on social media. That's right. Period. And people who get popular off of that, you don't need TV anymore to get popular. It's like you get popular on yourself, and then TV, then you end up on TV. So I'm just saying, again, I don't think she's worth the cancellation, but she does need. This is why I keep asking, and they keep saying, is that, like, where's the PR? Where's media training?
There's an opportunity. There's an opportunity there's a market out there for people who like are
that's what I'm trying.
Doing
that's
business.
what I'm trying to do.
How much money
I've been pumping this for the longest.
Does she even have like a PR team? Like,
what? She's getting that bag.
Is she donating $15,000?
Yeah, she's getting a chick like her who hasn't been around that long to throw away $15,000. Nah, she's getting the bag, and she got a She's in LA. She got a show on. She got her own show.
On what?
What's it called? Her own show?
She got her own show.
I know she's on Rel, but I didn't know that she had
my
her
bad.
Own show.
She's on Rel.
Okay.
She's on Rel. But I thought
yeah.
I feel like she's done stand-up comedy too. If I'm
yeah,
mistaken.
That's how she's eating.
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm saying it's also self-taught.
Yeah.
And that
got it.
So
I think the first place that I did see her was on somebody's. They brought back Def Comedy Jam the other day.
Oh, word?
If I'm not mistaken. And isn't that what
I heard it was coming back.
Yeah, it was on. And she was on it. They had like these 30-minute segments they put like a main person and then like two other. Yeah,
she's selling out arenas. She's like DC Young Fly, Same thing, like. Okay. But again, Jess, this is
like
just,
if you're not in that realm, you don't really follow it and stuff, so you don't pay attention to what's going on.
Or if you don't follow her. But I realize that with social media, like there are like a lot of people in all different genres like of everything, and that have millions of followers that we don't fucking know. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I think the message to her should just be like, educate yourself more and start thinking before you speak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because just being so like flip of the lip and, it's just not cool. Because she's constantly every week apologizing for something.
I think comedy is just the first domino of PC culture. Like, you can't say shit about anything now, and comedians are kind of the first people that get attacked because it's like comedians are supposed to be the people that can touch on these things without having to be held to a certain standard, like, to be politically correct. And they're the first people that are kind of getting caught. Like, you've noticed a lot of people with the Louis C.K. and shit like that. Like, you can't make jokes about anything no more, which sometimes I feel like it's their responsibility to get us through that kind of shit. You got to laugh through the pain. You got to have somebody that can kind of make light of the situation for it to be, for us to fully cope.
Right. I feel like there are boundaries, though. And I feel
like, absolutely. I think she was wrong with doing that stupid shit, but it's just...
But even with the boundaries, I feel like there's an opportunity for them to come together and be like, okay, what are the parameters? Like, let's talk about, like, maybe we don't make jokes on airplanes about, like, bombings.
That's like, there are a couple of things.
Like, why the hell can't they make a council and say, like, let's not do this shit, and then like, be good to go. Right. Same thing with battle rap.
But even I don't know. I feel like
this is off topic. This ain't like what the hell.
I feel like
the rule in battle. They feel like in battle rap you can say whatever you want to say.
I can't think of anything to compare it to, but I know for a fact that somebody that's made a Muslim plane joke. Before.
Of course.
Absolutely. Like, I can't think of one.
That's why it was bad timing.
And if it to happen the day after that, you stupid.
But also because it wasn't fully a joke. That's why it got so much backlash because she was so aggressive. You could tell her.
I gotta watch it.
Her tone wasn't jokey. Like, it started off jokey because she does this thing where she says, "Oh wow," like that's her thing, right? Yeah. Oh wow, and she started off with "Oh wow" once she saw them bored. And she flashed the camera to them. But then she started going on a rant, like a real ignorant rant. And her tone of voice. And then she had the audacity, after people told her, like, you're bugging, she did another video going even harder. So that's what made it like, okay, she's dead serious. Right, but she's dead serious. Like, you're bugging, dude. And then probably after that, she got all types of backlash from everybody across the board. Like,
you
what?
Dumb as shit.
Playing yourself.
Now the whatchamacallit would come in, but I don't have my headphones, so I can listen to them independently.
What?
For the sound bites.
It's all good.
Yeah, don't do that shit, Jess. You don't fuck your shit up. That was some.
Just think before you speak on shit that you don't know about like that. You know what I mean? Stick to the ratchet shit. Like going outside the ratchet shit. If that's not where you are, like you're not educating yourself, it's like don't touch on it, man.
Word.
I'm not saying for everybody. I'm saying her. You know what I'm saying? Because every week she's apologizing.
Damn.
People want to know why I don't support black business. I'll tell you why I don't support black business. She went on a rant with that. What the fuck is a black dollar? What the fuck does that even mean? My dollars I spend with who I like to spend. She was going on that, and I'm like, really? You don't understand the concept of a black.
And then there's this other thing to like. Do you like? Is this the image that you want to put out there because you feel as though like people are paying attention to you because of this? You know what I mean? Like, why you think
she's acting ignorant? Like, maybe she may not
wonder.
be as ignorant as she's acting.
Well, a lot of comedians. Well, a lot of
comedians,
black comedians, they do. You know, ignorance is the funny.
2 Chainz is kind of that version, I think, of rapper. Like, he definitely dumbs down. Like, and he's very intelligent. Like,
I thought it was
like
what's his name before? Right. Not 2 Chainz. What's the other one? Auto-Tune.
T-Pain.
Yes.
You think he?
I felt like he was like. I mean, the new age that.
You got to kind of cater to the lowest common denominator. Like, if they can't grasp it, then you're not going to be successful, which is kind of fucked up. But I think a lot of people do that. You know, you got to kind of pander to the bottom of the bottom to make it seem like, you know.
That's what Trump did.
Shit. Look, the people at the tippity top did that.
Right.
And it's like, can you be mad at somebody for trying to take that business model and apply it to their shit? It don't sound crazy to me. You see so many people, so many different industries being successful doing that. It's like, fuck it, you know.
That's where we going now, right? Like, which I don't like. You know, it's like, you know, let's just
be as dumb as possible.
Be not only as dumb, but let's just do stupid shit for attention. You know,
who
like
can do the stupidest
who
thing?
Who can do the stupidest thing?
Who can wear the stupidest outfit? Who could tweet the stupidest shit? Who could say this? It's like
I don't respect
lowering the bar instead of raising it.
Yeah, like it's like certain people who are utilizing social media to get popular and build their brands. You know, that's great. But people who are just doing stupid shit, some of the shit, maybe I'm being a tight ass. Some of the shit is just not fucking funny to me, yo. I posted that, like that comedy. I think I brought this up before, but that no, we talked about it because O said he thought it was funny. Or maybe it was after the show. That new comedy of like walking up to people and doing stupid shit in the store. I don't like that comedy.
The James Harden one, it was. I don't like when people do that shit, but a few of them be funny. Like
some of them, but some of them is like the dude. He's playing he's practicing like doing basketball moves.
With the,
like he's running up on people. That's not funny, yo.
You don't know what type of day I'm having.
The shit where they the shit where they put in the basket behind people, and then people are dunking on you, yo. It's crazy, but yo,
a new one they digging in your cart.
Oh yeah, I seen that one. Like that.
Dig in my cart so I can rock you, like so I can hit you with a freaking egg.
I already don't like being in public spaces. Like if somebody were to do that shit to me, like when I say I don't like being in public spaces, like I'm very aware. So if you did that, like my first reaction would be like, what the hell is wrong with
you're gonna black.
Yeah, so like don't do that.
Yeah, that shit is whack. I'm not.
That shit is whack.
I didn't watch anything like that.
There are a couple of videos.
That's a bunch going around.
Yeah, no, I don't doubt it. I just haven't been paying attention.
You seen them dudes like I've seen a couple dudes like going in the hood and like walking up on people pulling their pants up. Yo, bro, pull your pants up. Like people have pulled out guns on them. Like, yo, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
Like, so you know,
stop
doing that shit.
I like Homeboy. I don't know his name. He's getting more and more popular, but I like what he does. He does like the whole. It's funny because it seems realistic. Like, so he has his phone and he's acting like he's talking to some mob boss, and he'll be like,
right
yo,
next
this
to you,
the
right?
guy? He'll be like, yo, so whatever, the hit is going down. I got the guy. This is the guy. The guy's like, I'm the guy, like whatever. That's funny, and he does the bar thing too. So he's in the bar, and he was like, yeah, let me get a bottle of Henny, bottle of Douce, bottle of Ciroc. It's on his tab. And niggas be like, what? Like, it's funny because he's actually.
That's kind of funny. Yeah.
It's a little bit like it's bold.
It's so outrageous that people know it's not real.
Right. And then some clowns do try to like not like that, but they try to like, order shit on your shit like, it was on him. You know what I mean? He's just kind of like pushing the envelope with it. He also does the thing where he walks up to like these like real popular, beautiful women, and he's like, it's so corny, but he'd be like, I want to give you a like, right? And it's like, I don't know. He does like, you have to see it. Is that the one that
be like, now get away from me? You talking about the black dude? Yeah, he's funny as
It's the same guy.
Shit,
he's doing all of them.
Yo,
he walks, y'all talking about?
When he does the Jamaican dude, when he just be running, screaming, yo, this shit is mad funny. I seen you in the video.
I feel like he started it, kind of, that trend, and people just doing them, but there's no genius to it. It's no creativity to it. It's like, I feel like if you're gonna be doing that, like, be creative. I like the people that are creative, where it's something that makes me laugh because it was just different, not because this is the new thing. We're gonna run up on people. I mean, basically, it's pranking. That's what it is. And people have like, because of social media and you got your camera and you can record everything. People are just taking pranks to the next level. But I never got rocks off of watching pranks like that.
I mean,
like I'm not a Jackass type of the show, the Jackass. I'm not into that shit.
And I ain't going front. I used to watch it when it came out. Jackass, I used to watch it when it came out, but that was the original.
I didn't understand
that was the first. They was just doing dumb shit.
They were doing dumb shit, yo. And I feel like this is like the next wave of that, you know. But punked, I kind of like because you're like setting up a celeb and you're creating a real story that's believable. Yeah. And they actually get punked because they're like surprised as shit. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? But doing that to random people just on the street, I don't know, man. Yeah. I'm not trying to be a tight ass, but I just
don't like it.
I don't like that shit, yo.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to be a part of it.
They're not really funny to me either.
It's not really funny, yo. Like, it's not funny. But the joint when he's with the girls, he was like, now walk away. Like, he basically does like a compliment, like, oh, you're so gorgeous, right? I just want to give you a like. And they were like, a like? Or he'd be like, oh, you're so gorgeous. I want to buy you a drink. Can I buy you a drink? And he's like really charismatic, right? So they're like, sure. And he'll be like, I don't get paid till next week, and he'll walk away.
He'll be like, oh, you the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life. Now walk away from me. Yo, that shit be having me weak. Like,
and they start busting out laughing.
Like, what the hell?
I think Tiana Taylor or one of them like punched him like, fuck out of here. Like,
I forgot who it was. It was somebody.
And it was funny still because like, don't try to play me. You know what I'm saying? So stuff like that is like cool, but I don't know, man.
Until like people start getting hit and shit.
I mean,
that's the thing that I don't like about it because it's like, because then the question comes like, oh, what do you do or how do you respond? It's like, didn't you know that there was a possibility that this could happen? Yeah. Like, why aren't you prepared for like these types of reactions? I mean, I don't know why I be going like to that extreme, but I think that's the thing that I think about with shit like that because they never last.
No, but I think this guy, he probably is kind of like, he's getting more popular, so I think that he probably prepared for whatever reaction. You know what I'm saying? Because it does take a lot, especially in New York City.
What's the name of the person?
I don't know his name right now. But shout out to him.
Yo, Google now get away from me. I bet you ain't come up.
Yeah, you put that out.
Get away from me.
Oh, walk away from me.
Yeah, something like that. I bet you.
He done pulled up on Drea.
He pulled up on
like, he be in a lot of good mix, like in the mix. You know what I'm saying?
With bad chicks.
And it look like the girls be finding him attractive. You know
Some
what
of them be like, oh, and I walk away from me. It should be mad funny.
Has he been doing it for a long time?
You've been doing it for a while.
I'm gonna say at least 2 years.
2016.
Yeah, it been a couple years.
I've never heard of this shit.
Well, you're not a social media head.
Yeah.
You probably seen one of the videos though. Like you had to see it.
What's another topic for the?
We're gonna talk about SHAQ, right? Let's talk
about that, man. SHAQ with Papa John's, man.
Yo, SHAQ put his name on anything. I ain't mad at him. He trying to get another bag. Fuck it. They got rid of the other dude, and they trying to rebuild their, the brand. So they trying to bring SHAQ on.
But for all that, I mean, create SHAQ pizza shops. Like, why? Why do you want to I mean, this guy, the racist guy.
Then you would have to invest the money into doing it.
He's still, but it's still an investment. I mean, he bought into it.
But they fired the racist dude, right? Like, he don't have nothing to do with it no more.
But he's the owner, though. So he stepped down, but he still gets a check.
They didn't make him sell the company? Like,
did they?
I think
I need that research. We need that intel. Because
I think they did. Like,
if they did that, then okay.
Yeah, like they completely cut ties and they trying to rebrand.
So
Papa John's is better than Domino's. So
really,
to me,
I don't know. Papa John's is dirt.
Domino's
I don't really like.
Domino's is definitely dirt. But
Domino's is
but
dirt.
the pan pizza is banging. The
Actually,
pan
just
pizza
always
from
loved
Domino's
Pizza Hut
is
for real,
banging.
for real.
Pizza Hut fell the fuck off. Pizza Hut used to be the bomb. Pizza Hut was shit on Domino's and Papa John's.
Pizza Hut was a restaurant back in the day, though.
It used to be a treat. We used to be happy going to Pizza Hut.
Hell yeah.
Because especially
it actually made it on the island of Antigua.
Oh, really?
Oh, shit,
I was going to say, especially living in the Bronx, there wasn't a Pizza Hut really in the Bronx. You had to go to, like, Westchester. So it was like a thing to do. Like, oh, yeah, like, you know, oh, we're going to Pizza Hut? Like, and I used to be happy, especially down south, going to Pizza Hut. It was just like, but they fell the fuck off.
Yeah,
it'd be hard to have, like, a franchise for, like, 50 years that maintains.
Yeah, because you got to live through so many different changes, like changes in the market, competition, different things happening.
You have to be
like,
up for doing that shit.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just be like, oh, I'm going to invest in McDonald's or Wingstop just to do it. I don't know why I did that. Like, I'm just assuming that the man did that. Mm-hmm. But, like, you have to, like, have a desire to understand how that shit grows and how to, like, grow with the industry, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, like I don't think you could keep a pizza restaurant anremoore. Like it was hard for them to probably maintain,
you know what's
so
winning?
They had to make it
the
fast
authentic
food.
ones are winning.
What you mean?
I feel like the family ones, the real authentic pizza, like the Italian spots.
Yeah, but those be one spot. Like to have a chain.
They do. I mean, but I'm noticing a lot more. Like I was even saying, there's a Joe's Pizza right there. Their pizza is really good. There's a couple of them all over the city.
I don't really like Joe's.
You don't like Joe's?
Not really. Yeah, like I mean,
okay.
Like,
I think Joe's is good.
I don't know about
you like your spot better than Joe's?
Yeah. Definitely. And I'm not crazy about the spot that I go to.
I would say it's not like a regular.
Right,
it's right there.
Yeah, it's right there.
But you don't think Joe's is better than it?
Not to me. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard.
My favorite pizza. I mean, I don't know, but there's a spot. I can't think of it right now. But there's a spot in the Village. The Village has a lot of dope pizza spots. But I feel like their pizza, when you taste that pizza compared to the fast food pizza, Papa John's is probably.
Papa John's that fast food cardboard shit. Like I hate that shit.
But it's better cardboard than Domino's cardboard.
I only get the Domino's pan. I don't fuck with the regular Domino's. I get the Domino's pan.
As long as it has toppings, I'm rocking with it.
Yeah,
Domino's.
Pretty much.
When I say it's dirt, I mean like I would never want to eat a plain slice of Domino's, yo.
Nah, me either.
I need toppings.
Yeah.
And the thing
that should
is
be
good.
coming for free at the school. I'd be like, nah.
Nah, we don't want no plain cheese Domino's, yo.
So it seems as though, like, I haven't been able to read the details, but it seems as though he stepped down as chairman, but he's still definitely affiliated with the company.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So he still get money.
Yeah,
He
it seems
sell
like
that
they made him
shit.
stop media presence, but it doesn't speak about like how much of the company he was in ownership of anyway.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
Damn. So
The
we mad at
details.
SHAQ for that?
That's why I was feeling that
It
way
depends
because
on
I feel
how he approaches it, in my opinion.
I don't think it's only one way. SHAQ is someone that naturally sells and he's likable. So they're making him the face of Papa John. So we're gonna see SHAQ Papa John commercials, and I already know
that-
He's also like board of directors, so like at least he has some, like maybe he'll have some influence about like what would happen. Because I would walk up in there and be like, we about to like hire 50%
That's what I'm saying.
black people.
Yeah, like to
but
have
I
the
feel
influence
like
on it.
black people already work in Papa John's.
You right, but we about to raise their pay.
But not in the
all
the
of them
places where
vacation
they need to
packages,
be.
goddamn.
You know what I'm
Give
saying?
them some
Like, if he-
stock. How about that?
Yeah, if he's on
Yeah.
the board of directors, then he can make
But
managers
now
and VPs and shit.
we're talking about SHAQ here.
Yeah. He's never really. I don't know about him
Statistically, he's
influencing the
borderline.
culture like that.
SHAQ. Someone told me SHAQ is all lives matter ass head ass.
I mean, what you gotta remember is SHAQ is like a policeman. SHAQ has been a millionaire for like 25 years now. Like it's a little bit different. He's coming from a different place. He grew up in a military family, so like
Oprah too.
he didn't really have that opportunity. SHAQ was never really a real person. You feel me? Like from 15 years old, he was 7-something. Like they knew he was going to the NBA. He was school, so like he never had a real black experience.
So he just only
absolutely.
has his lifestyle.
Yeah,
it's
he
still
don't know. Like it's
still not okay, or at least I don't feel as though we look at it that way because we want to see people who like we look up to and who monetize off of being black. Because they like oftentimes like their marketing strategies are targeting black people. Like don't target me and not like give back to me.
I feel you.
Like I just feel strongly about that shit, and it's not okay.
And that's my whole point. I feel like this guy who and he was blatantly racist, the owner, and so he's still gonna eat off of it. So basically, all you're gonna do, you're gonna make, SHAQ. It's a great thing for SHAQ, but all you're doing is reconnecting black people to Papa John's. Because once he gets in the commercials,
very true.
His reach is everybody, but I'm saying he's lovable, likable. All we're gonna see SHAQ, this dope ass Papa John's commercial, and all of a sudden, by the next 2 months, black people, the black dollar is back at Papa John's.
Yeah.
Shit,
so
I ain't buying
it
that
depends
shit.
on how he approaches it. Like if he doesn't approach it, and it's up for us who are educated about it to like either spread the word to people or make people give a shit, because like otherwise people will be like, look, their pizza's $3 versus the $5. Fuck that.
That shit nasty to me. I ain't buying. I don't give a fuck.
People say it's nasty, but you think so?
They have Kobe in the commercial. I'm not buying that shit. Fuck that. I'm not
a huge fan of their pizza.
Ooh, yeah, and I'm
I
good.
feel like
I'm
the
not buying
vegetables
that
and shit
shit
don't cook properly. Like before
good.
they put it in the box.
That little bullshit pepper y'all put in the box. Fuck out of here.
Yeah.
That shit is whack. I don't want none of that
Actually,
shit.
Y'all
I
eat
enjoy that
Domino's?
pepper.
I only eat the pan pizza, the pineapple pan pizza carry out special, $7.99, $9.79 when you
Very
go pick it
specific.
up.
But
at
I'm
the beginning.
saying that Popeyes makes the same pizza. I mean, Papa John's makes the same pizza.
No, I don't
it's
think it's the
not.
same. It has a different taste.
Not the pan.
You don't think it's better?
absolutely. Not to
No.
me.
Then Domino's?
Not to me.
Nah.
Really?
Mhm.
We gotta do a
But I
competition
also
one day.
do like I get something very specific from Domino's.
Which
I get
is?
like the thin crust pizza with like pepperoni and olives and random shit.
One
but
day,
it's like thin
one day
crust.
we need to like do.
The pan pizza from
Matter of fact, I
Domino's
want
is
to
like
do that
old
a
Pizza
live,
Hut.
what they call a live mukbang.
What is
the
it
what?
I'm
called?
trying to get into that world because they are
The hell is
making
that?
Spell mukbang.
mukbang is an Asian term. It's MUKBANG. It's where you just get like, a bunch of food, eat, and that's really
Audio
it.
visual broadcast.
Shit, let's. Oh, I thought that was like one of them fucking
No, but a
mass eaters that just eat mad food, like them chicks that eat 20 chickens, them little Asian chicks.
Oh.
You ever seen them videos?
Nah.
Yo, bitch be 110 pounds and sit there and eat 20 chickens. I shit you not. Had them shits lined up and you watch her eat 20 fucking chickens. Clean them shits. 20. Bitch be 110 pounds. I swear to God.
I gotta see that.
I swear I will send you the videos.
No,
like,
it's my new
eating
wave
competitions.
Of that
I wanna
ASMR.
see
I was telling you all about that ASMR. You can look at it.
I-
ASMR is like audio sound something where people just like watch these videos of you eating food and the sounds that it makes when you eat it. Some people don't even talk; they just eat the food.
Just smack.
So
I don't think I would enjoy
mukbang-
that shit because sounds irritate the shit out of me.
Well,
Even though I know I make them, hearing them.
Mukbangs are they're associated with that. It's on YouTube. There are whole communities of people that just get off of sounds and no. There's one channel I subscribe to where she
Autonomous sensory meridian response.
yes. So normally it's like like peaceful sounds,
Yeah.
but people get off on eating sounds. Like there's one channel. Sometimes they advertise. They'll tell you. Eating starts at 5:20. Like they'll cook the food, dope recipes. Sidebar, this is Asian kid that I started fucking with. I want to like challenge him because I refuse to believe that there's no black person. This Asian kid can. He's a grown guy, but I'm calling him a kid. But he can fry chicken like no other, yo. He fried.
How you know though? It look good or so
Really?
that shit
Yo,
nasty.
it be super crunch, and I did some of his recipes.
Word.
MSG.
No
I stole
lie,
his shit.
I'm being full transparent.
What ingredients he told you to use? Can you
he
say?
had? He has so. I'm gonna tell you, he has so many different ways to fry chicken. He loves chicken, right? So it makes me almost feel like, maybe that stereotype is really pressed on black people, but it should be on Asians.
But I feel like when you see the families sitting behind the counter, they don't be eating that shit.
No hair, not Chinese food. But look up. There are millions of Asian fried chicken videos, yo. Just frying. He done fried.
Oh well, yeah, because they have a lot of.
He's
I feel like-
Vietnamese. He's Vietnamese.
I feel like fried chicken is popular in that culture.
Very. You'll
That's
see
real.
even in Indian culture, and they're frying like. Well, that's the part of the mukbang. The mukbang is really a lot of food. That's why I was saying we should have one where we have wings and we'll have wings from Papa John's and Domino's. You know what I mean?
And-
We'll have 2 pies from Papa John's and Domino's, and we just sit here and eat the food and talk. And we'll probably just do it live. You know what I mean? But
And evaluate them.
right, and just say what's better. it's a bunch of those types of videos online anyway. I was going to do one from 2 summers ago. I was going to do Shake Shack versus Five Guys. Like, who do y'all think is better, Shake Shack or Five Guys?
Shake Shack because they have cheddar cheese. I love Five Guys, but they don't have cheddar cheese, and that bothers me.
Okay.
I never had a hamburger before in my life.
Really?
I never.
You don't eat beef.
I mean, I'm not that I don't eat beef, but like I'm not crazy. If I never ate beef again in my life, I wouldn't like.
So you don't eat cheeseburgers?
I've never had a cheeseburger ever before in my life. I've never had a burger ever. I promise you.
Is that Carnegie or is that
that's
Reef?
Carnegie. That's ever. Yo, my cousins told me like, yo, when you was a baby, if they gave you beef baby food, you're like spit that shit out. They was like,
so
yo,
you don't
eat
beef.
Shit, I'll make pasta with like, you know, get some ground beef and get some sauce and mix it up and eat it like that. But like a hamburger or like meatloaf or a hunk of meat. When I was a kid, if my mom's made steak, I would have to eat it because that was the only thing for dinner. But like, if I never had a steak again in my life, I won't be mad.
You cooked dinner a lot?
Do I cook dinner a lot? Now that I live by myself, I have to. So like every once in a while, I make that, you know. But
got it, because I always associate like burgers with like eating out and shit.
Oh no, I used to eat fast food shit.
So what you
twice
getting?
a
Chicken?
Day. Yeah, I'm getting chicken. Chicken or fish. Like I'm getting chicken.
Well,
or
for
fish.
you. So have you had a Shake Shack chicken sandwich?
Oh, I didn't even know Shake Shack had a chicken sandwich.
I didn't know they had
a chicken sandwich either. Let me find out your ass was putting up like mad cow disease shit on your wall, and that's why you stayed away from beef.
Nah, it's like I told you, like this shit is organic. My cousin was like, "Yo, when we used to give you beef baby food, you'll spit that shit out. Like it don't taste.
Like it.
It's not like something like to my soul. It's just like I don't want like."
That's good.
It ain't. I don't know. Yeah.
I
don't think it's a must-have anyway.
Yeah,
to me, you know, I love
so
burgers,
American.
but it's very American.
Yeah, super. Yeah, if I was at the cookout, I have hot dogs when I was a kid. But now I'm not eating that shit now. But yeah,
no hot dogs
never in my
dog.
life ever. Like not one hamburger ever. So yeah, I don't even know. People like, yo, Shake Shack. The line be around the block. Like,
well, Five Guys doesn't have chicken. So.
Yeah, Five Guys only has burgers. Yeah, I walked in there before and looked at the
menu.
But
their fries are really good.
Yeah, and I love the fact that you can put anything on like your burger. I love the fact that you can put anything on your burger.
Yeah,
that's like all the freaking toppings. Like they could do more, but because like they can do pineapples and shit. That's what Caribbean people be liking. But
right. Yeah. But yeah, we should do that one day. But this, so he has so many different recipes of fried chicken, right? But one that I feel like is really good, and I've done it. It's not even just a recipe. I'm gonna tell you a trick that he does for the crunch, and then I realized that he put me onto a lot. It's education at the same time, right?
That, hell
but you know what? It's a good way to fry chicken that gives it great flavor. Hot sauce, not on it like. On the raw chicken, season the chicken with the hot sauce. It gives it great flavor. Like season it how you season it, but just throw some hot sauce in it. It gives it bomb ass flavor, yo.
Okay.
Now the key is a bunch of different ways to making the crunch, right? Like I can fry chicken, and it can my regular way is just with flour. But what Asians do is that they use cornstarch a lot. That's why their chicken is always like that, where it's super crunchy and yellowish too, because they use cornstarch. And you can either just use it in place of flour sometimes. Like sidebar, if you put just cornstarch like on shrimp, you can kind of make a fake ass tempura because I did that before too. Like so that's how they make like a general's
style chicken and stuff like that.
They use cornstarch, and it's thicker. Cornstarch is a thickening agent anyway. So if you have like sauce or whatever that you're making, you want to thicken it up real quick, you throw a little cornstarch. It thickens it up, right.
But flour does the same thing, so I don't. Well,
flour
whatever.
does, but all right. So the cornstarch though for frying, it just gives it. I don't know. This is why I would want to go to cooking school just to learn technical terms, right? Of why, you know what I mean. But the cornstarch kind of makes it really extra crunchy because you do both. So you do part flour and part cornstarch. But the other trick that he does for super crunch is club soda. So he does a wet batter of egg, flour, and club soda. The club soda makes it look like Popeye's crunchy, yo.
Interesting.
Oh, shit.
Oh, that makes sense because once it'll start fizzing.
Because it's like how you make bear batted onion rings. Use bear.
Okay.
That's also a good thing. Shit. You season it, with the wet batter, you don't have to season, but you season, like you season your He does a lot though. I don't do.
I want to try and find a version of the Snyder's wings, but I feel like it's probably soy sauce that they use in Brooklyn.
Wings?
Snyder's is this Chinese spot in Brooklyn?
Everybody. I know Kung Pao.
A whole rack of people be like in there. I feel like they call Snyder's. I feel like they own Snyder's. I don't know. I ain't from Brooklyn.
Okay.
But we be getting it for school every now and then for we do these evening events. And people love the chicken. Sometimes it's not like cooked as well done as I want it to, so that's why I want to try it myself.
Okay.
But see if he know what Snyder's chicken is and if he can give you the recipe.
Yeah, I need my shit fried hard.
Pretty much. I hate when that shit isn't. I know when that shit mad dry.
But that's the other thing too. So you have to master when you're doing it right. A lot of people like it fry hard, but I think the frying hard is just because you want it extra crunchy.
Yeah.
But you got to know how to cook where you can have it crunchy and still juicy.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you fry it hard, it should be
but that's
dry.
Like temperature. That's like friggin' with the right temperature and stuff like that. Or I would assume.
I just think that frying hard doesn't mean that you have to overcook it.
Yeah, not at all.
You know, it's just that.
Because that's normally my go-to.
Right, but you know how we probably should move on past this. I'm a foodie. I can talk about food like all day.
Segment,
yeah, segment. That's definitely we gotta have a foodie segment. Word. But I think it's how you know when the chicken is really actually juicy. Like it can still be really good, but see, you have to be and this is why I fuck with him too, because he eats chicken like a black person too. Like I'm just saying, like we're stereotyped with that, but it's not like a black person, but a person who really eats chicken. Cause you got people. I don't know if one of y'all are these people, people who do not clean the bone. Are you?
I don't.
Oh,
yeah, I'm bougie. Like I don't want the marrow and
you
all
gotta
that.
the bone, son.
I actually pick at that shit, and like after
so
I take
not
even that shit off, I'm done. I'm good.
Right? I hate I'm
bougie.
It's so funny. This is a good topic because I have some
I
friends.
Been live with this.
One of my girlfriends is talking about how she like saved her bones one time and went home and ate that shit because she didn't want to. She didn't want to be judged at work. Yes, she did.
Why she saved
she
them?
Gonna judge me for saying that shit, and
I'm judging right now. Don't say her name.
I won't, but she know who I'm talking about, and I'm attacking her.
Wait, so she picked at him and then saved him and went home and
she did. She said she went home and fucked them bones up because she wanted her damn bones. And she would be judged by her coworkers.
But I was gonna say, juicy bones is how you know that the meat was done well.
Oh, so you have to wait till you finish?
Well, no, I'm just saying in retrospect, as a foodie, because see, my mom's from the South, so. Me eating chicken like that, I get it from from her, because that's how they eat chicken. Like they eat it to the core. I mean, gristle, and if I'm saying, matter of fact, shout out to him. His name is Quan Trang. Look him up. He's dope to me. You know what I mean? But I want someone has to like take him down, because this dude makes. The shit be looking so good. What? He got the juice with the fried chicken.
He got the juice.
He done made every kind. He made Henny's. He made Jack Daniel's honey wings. He made all types of shit, yo. And sometimes he switches it up, different recipes. And I'm like, yo, this guy really fried some chicken. Like he really is just like.
Did he go to culinary arts school?
I doubt it. I don't think so, because he's not like. That's another thing too.
You don't have to go to school to do that shit.
No, me too. But I'm gonna start recording
shit.
myself too. I do the same way you can cook. Like I'm gonna start doing that. I be cooking in the kitchen. Like this other dude too. I didn't even know he was a rapper first, but he's on Viceland. Their show called Munchies is on YouTube, but I think it's on TV too.
Like
Mayhem Loren. He's from Brooklyn. You ever heard of him? Nah. I didn't know he was a rapper, but he's like he's relatively young still, I think. Okay, but he's like a Wu-Tang type of rapper, but I just found that he was a rapper. I know him off of cooking.
It's a spin-off of Action Bronson shit? Like
he's cool with Action Bronson.
Okay, so
it's a spin-off of that.
Yeah,
but he's dope in the
Bronson
kitchen. And then he adds like he's very charming, so but then when I'm seeing different people cook, I'm like, I be doing this like shrimp and grits is a regular thing in my house. Once I stumbled upon that.
And I'm not even from this. Well, that's a lie. There's influence. But me and my sister say if I can have some shrimp and grits.
Shrimp and grits and all types of ways to make that. Yeah. Like, I'm like, I'm going to start recording. But, yeah, somebody got to take down Quan Train, man.
Damn, yo.
Because he be talking shit, too. Like nobody could,
He's like, find me a black person.
I ain't mad.
He be talking shit like...
you know when your shit is popping. And no matter what you're doing, you know when your shit is popping. Right. There's something inside your soul that lets you know, like, yo, I'm doing this well.
Now I see him do some dishes where I'm like, okay, you could because he be doing things like making whole feast off of $10, shit like that. But some stuff is just like I would not be eating. It's like just straight starch. It's like okay, you made like
that's my kind of meal. I love them starch meals.
From pasta to another thing where he finesse. I'm gonna try to do this. He's making his own bread too. Like
cool.
He goes in, you know what I mean? And I feel like it's also educational because he's giving you the recipe and he's saying you could do it too, type shit. You know what I'm saying? So I think everyone should know how to cook.
Yeah.
Even if for survival.
Yeah. Agreed.
Shout to him, yo. Yeah, I ain't really learned how to cook until I got on my own. And it was kind of like
you had to.
Yeah, I had to. And I was just, where I moved, the fast food wasn't really dope. Like, where I grew up in a mile radius, it was every fucking thing. So I never really had to cook. I could just always go maneuver around. But it's crazy as it sounds.
Still never had a burger.
That's crazy.
That's fascinating.
Nah, that shit it don't feel right to me. Like, it don't feel
I respect
right.
It.
Like, it looks disgusting. Like, when they show the Big Mac on TV and the commercial and they got it looking, that shit looks disgusting to me. Like, that shit don't look appealing at all. Not even that. It's just like
off of homemade sloppy burgers, yo.
Yeah,
that was the shit.
And
off of what's the spot? I only go there every so often. I haven't been there in years because their burgers are just so big for no reason.
Where are they located?
They're all over the city.
Oh, I don't know.
They got the huge burgers.
I don't know what you're talking about then.
Talking about Bubba Burgers?
Not Bear Burger.
No. I want to try Bear Burger. I haven't tried them yet. They're all right. Because see, a lot of times when you get a burger outside, it doesn't really, it's just a bunch of shit on it. It doesn't have much flavor to it.
So that's my thing. Because for me, like, what's your criteria? Because
on a good burger?
Yeah.
See,
and I feel like my
Shake
criteria
Shack.
is different from those of, like.
Shake Shack is not bland to me. For it to be a cooked on the spot burger.
But I feel like it's because of this. Like the shit that they put on it, and they might add a little bit of salt.
No, but it doesn't taste like a diner burger. It's still good, right? But it's not really seasoned.
Yeah,
but it's still good. I think most burgers are like that. They're not really seasoned. They're just like.
But that's my problem. Period. Like I want a well seasoned burger. That's my criteria. Like I want a seasoned burger. I want to know that these people cut up onions and peppers and shit,
right?
And add a little seasoned salt. No MSG in my damn burger before they like put the patty together.
That's my burger.
Like,
I always put onions and peppers.
Yeah.
I even put barbecue sauce in it.
So I feel like there's no real good burger spot yet. For real. I feel like there's still an opportunity for it because until there's someone who's doing that, like
real homemade burgers.
And like turn that shit into a fast food joint.
They've been advertising dope burgers, but it looks like the same thing. That 5. They sent me a buy one get one free 5 napkin.
In the city. Have I tried them? I think I might have.
You didn't like
and
it?
I don't think they were memorable.
Okay. So
I remember I walked up in there.
You're a real foodie too.
Did y'all look up?
Not really because I don't never finish my meals. I have a problem with finishing my meals, so I'll be paying attention.
Well, I mean, shit, it's all good. You eat till you full. You ain't gotta finish.
That'd be like 3 bites, and then I'm done. I'm very wasteful with food, so you never really get a chance to like enjoy the experience. You know,
really? Oh man, I don't think I'll ever be treating you to a meal.
I would recommend not. No meal, no late night movie. I will fall fucking asleep in that movie.
Yo, that's what I wanted to do. But I went to
go see Us.
Yeah, we should have seen it as a team.
It's whack.
I promise.
No, I didn't see it yet. I'm gonna go see it today. I'm so thirsty to see it.
I've not heard one good review.
No,
from
but
nobody.
even if you couldn't invite your sister, I feel like next time something's like pop, we should go as a crew and then do a live review.
Oh, I like that.
That would have been dope.
Because to experience it together is different.
In that moment.
In the moment.
I haven't heard a good review from nobody that's seen it yet.
Really?
I'm hearing mixed reviews, a lot of bad reviews. But I think that I'm hearing different things like,
from critics, I'm hearing good.
I heard it
but
was
from
just really
actual
scary.
people, all I'm hearing is bad.
Yeah, from people, I'm hearing 50-50. So a lot of people on my timeline like, shit is whack, shit is corny. But then some people are saying that, I saw a post that said if you don't, something having to do with how you think.
Yes,
and
that's where I was going.
Of course.
Because,
and
like, Sorry to Bother You, I feel like a lot of people, like, no one paid attention to that movie, but I thought that movie was great.
We talked about that. Sorry to Bother You. Shit is one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. Fucking classic.
But people don't pay attention to it. I feel like it depends on what you watch a movie for. right?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Us is supposed to be a movie that spreads some type of message because that's who they are as, I guess, writers, directors, blah, 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 blah. So if you're not watching it with that intent, then that's not, like, if you go in thinking that you was going to get some funny, scary movie, some Mike Myers shit.
Expectation is always everything. If you go in there
well,
with the wrong expectation and you get another movie, it's like, you know, sometimes you going in expecting it to be a comedy and it's super dark. And then
it was a high anticipation.
Of course. The bar was set so high. If had it been reversed and, you know, the bar been so high for Get Out, we might not have received it the same way we did. It was kind of like, you know, a surprise, like, oh shit, this is the dopest movie. It only took $1 million to make. Jordan Peele, and then it came on us. But now, when the bar is set so high, it's kind of like you have your own expectations. You see the previews and the coming attractions. You think it's one way, and then you get it in, it's something else. Like I can't think of a movie that fit that specifically offhand. The only experience I can like really compare it to is like Prince's albums used to really do that, and I wasn't alive when they was being dropped, but you would expect one thing to come and he would do the complete opposite. Like Purple Rain was his, you know, critically acclaimed best shit, and then the next album was a complete 180, and everybody's like, yo, what the fuck is this? Oh, this shit is whack. Now 30 years later, when you look back, Parade might be his best album. When you really break it down and look at it, because like the musical value of it was so dope, but you were expecting Purple Rain 2. He didn't give you Purple Rain 2. He gave you a 180. So it's like, I think that might be the same thing. You was expecting Get Out 2, and Jordan Peele gave you some other masterpieces, some other shit.
It was advertised like that, and I think, you know,
I don't think
was it though? I think you just assumed it was Get Out 2 because it was Jordan Peele and it was black people.
That's what I was gonna say. Just to like, I don't want to say simple, but a simple-minded person took that as like it's a similar, because they were saying
like they said, stay woke. Or get
right,
woke.
and I feel like people were looking at it like it was a horror. It's not a horror.
But that's what they thought about Get Out too.
But it's a thriller. It's not a horror film.
It's a big difference. And I've seen that even if you go
I don't
on
like
shit
horror
like
films.
If you go on shit like Hulu and Netflix, they have that. Like I'll be like, that's not a thriller, or that's not a horror. Like they'll have movies and a different thing. Yeah, like sometimes you want to watch a thriller, sometimes you want to watch a horror movie. There's a distinct difference. I think if you're going into it thinking you're going to see a horror movie and see a thriller,
because you see the mirror images in one gruesome one and one normal one, that this is a horror flick. I'm like, it's not a horror flick. Whatever. People are different.
I didn't see the movie, but the premise to me is fucking genius. And with the tug and war that we go through as being black people in this country every single day, just from the coming attractions of it, it hit home for me. And I think this shit was a grand slam. I didn't see the movie yet, so you know, don't kill me, but the premise was fucking genius. Just the having to, you know, code switch, having to be able to fit in both groups, having to like all of that shit was just encompassed in that little shit. And I was like, yo, this is literally our experience. And it's almost like the fight against yourself to kind of, once you cross into one category, the other category kind of, you know, disowns you. Oh, nah, you became pop, you became bougie, it's like, nah, I'm trying to be successful. Because I'm trying to be successful doesn't mean I'm not still a part of y'all. And then it's like both, you know, if you're still a part of them, then the successful people look at you like, oh, you still hood, so that's what I thought it was. And if he encompassed that and did some creative shit and made it like a thriller kind of against yourself and you really fight yourself, that shit is genius. So I don't see how it could be bad.
I think that's cool as well.
Like, yeah, I don't see how it could be bad.
I want to see it just to see what
of course
it inspires.
Yeah.
So hopefully everyone can get to see it before next Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean,
so we can talk about it while
if you don't go and see it today, let me know and I'll see if my
let's see if we could do that.
I was so thirsty because I was thirsty to
go see it.
Yeah, I kind of made plans. I made plans to see it today.
Like sometimes people got to see shit twice too.
Yeah, so I wouldn't mind still seeing it again. Yeah, like as a crew.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So we should try to make that happen.
I won't. Yeah, I'm down for that. That's a movie I definitely want to see twice. I ain't gonna lie. I'm going to the movies, but I want to be able to get it online so I can watch it in the crib and really like
analyze it.
Pause, rewind, because I'm that kind of person. Like, yo, rewind it. Nah, I'm gonna go buy it. I'm gonna go see the movie and pay my money to see it, but then I'm gonna get the website and watch it a couple times too. Like, I'm gonna definitely like, fuck that. I'm not gonna keep it like Jordan Peele. You know what it is, bro. I'm gonna give you my money to go see it, but I'm gonna watch the shit online too because I want to pause.
No,
rewind,
you know why? Because people were someone copped out, and I wanted to like get at her today because someone made a post and was like, "Oh, I'm hearing bad reviews for us, so Fire Stick it is," and I'm like,
That's so
Boo.
smart.
Yeah, nah, that's
I
why.
make it my business
why.
to support most black. Like there's some where it's just like, oh, that was terrible. Like Acrimony, I didn't go and support it because I heard it was terrible.
What's that?
I wouldn't have supported that.
Tyler Perry, I supported a lot of your movies back in my day. So
I heard that was whack.
Money. Exactly. So
I don't really get jiggy with Tyler Perry, so I'm not.
He back then he was like the one black
person
who was putting shit out and putting black people to work. So
I feel you.
And I used to work right across the street from the AMC on 34th, so I'd leave right out.
Okay. Go right there.
Out a little early.
I used to have the Optimum triple play where you got the free movie tickets every Tuesday. Yo, I used to see everything. That shit was lit, yo. Hey, I went the week that they did it. Like I went up, I was like, yeah, let me get my tickets. He's like, bro, they did it. I was like, fuck you talking about? I was here last week. He's like, nah, bro, they did it. I'm like, dead ass.
Damn.
I used to go see everything. But yeah, nah.
I missed that.
Yo, that shit was
but
lit.
they also did they still do that, right? Not that, but it's a cheap price. If you
on
have
Tuesday,
on Tuesday, right?
I think it's like this kind of tickets or something. But you used to get free tickets every Tuesday.
You know what I used to do? I
Mad
can say
dates.
it now because I won't do it no more. I used to go to the movie theaters and buy the senior citizens tickets.
All day.
And if I get caught, I was gonna say like, "Oh, I thought it was like senior in high school
All day.
or senior in college."
And I used to
because I walked around because you use a kiosk.
Yeah, you go to the kiosk, you buy the senior citizens tickets.
Exactly. You talk to them as they like tear your tickets, so they're distracted. They're not paying attention to what the hell your shit say.
Some of them don't give a fuck. You got that one super manager that catch you. Some of them don't give a fuck. They be like, yo, go in.
Top flight security people.
Yeah, hell yeah. Shit, I did that shit a couple months ago. I ain't gonna lie. Word up. Nigga caught me too.
$8.50 ticket real easy.
Word up. Times is hard. Fuck that. That bitch just like that.
But most of us have like them plum benefits and stuff like that if you have like them benefit packages through your employer and shit like that.
But nah, I feel like this is non-negotiable. Every black person got to support this because Jordan Peele is like that dude right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's the man. I didn't even realize until after the fact that they was both on Mad TV. Like I was seeing clips of them being on Mad TV, and I'm like, when the fuck did this happen? Because I don't remember them two being on Mad TV. Like, I was seeing the clips, like, you know, when you go on YouTube and other clips start to pop up, and I'm seeing him, Jordan Peele and Keegan Key on the shit. I'm like, yo, I don't know that he's on Mad TV. So they've been doing it for a minute. Like, they've been doing this shit for like 20 plus years. Like, they've been grinding. Like, I fuck with Jordan Peele for that even more. Like, when they just got that show on Comedy Central and it was kind of like a Chappelle ripoff, not, you know, like in the same, not a ripoff, but, you know, I kind of felt Chappelle's beef, but whatever. It was a good show, but whatever. I was like, where did they come from? But then I found out that they was on Mad TV and they had been grinding for so long. Like, shout out to Jordan Peele, man. He's doing this shit. You been grinding. You at the tippity top right now, and we fuck with you.
Speaking of comedy, to keep this going, so did y'all hear about the In Living Color cast reuniting at this year's Tribeca Film Festival?
I heard something about that.
I don't know if they're supposed to be doing like a pilot for. I don't know if they're trying to relaunch the show.
Something
and
about
doing
them
a pilot.
getting together. But are they making it a movie though, or like a new show?
So.
It was something about them coming together. I didn't even realize that was the like all African American cast like that they was trying to do when they first did it.
Oh, really?
Because like Jim Carrey was from South Africa. Like I didn't know that.
Really?
I didn't know that was a thing. Yeah, it was like all African American cast because like Jim Carrey's from South Africa.
Makes sense.
Like shit was wild. I didn't know that. That was something I just found out recently. So yeah,
you know,
I wanted
to bring up. So I was telling y'all about the ADOS.
Oh yeah, with your boy Talib. I don't really know what's up with him, but
well, yeah. I mean, I'm not probably one to like give so. I just wanted to kind of like make people aware of what's going on, right? And so ADOS is a hashtag that was created, American Descendant of Slaves, right? And it's basically representing Black Americans who are from here, right? And it was the whole thing. Reason why it was brought up. It was to tie into reparations, right? And so, it's been getting. I didn't know that it was getting this much resistance from other black people, and Talib Kweli is one of them.
Your word,
right?
Okay.
And so, now I've been educated about it through two of my friends, and on this particular woman, Yvette Carnell, who's like, she's just like a, I don't know, what's the word for it? She's just like she's I don't want to just use words with bad connotations to describe her. You know what I mean? Like, so I do find her to be a bit extreme, but she's like an OG as far as just like awareness and black awareness, and I think it's someone that you guys should like listen to too. You know what I mean?
You mentioned that before.
Yeah, I mean, because she's very informed. Mm-hmm. Let's just say that on us, our culture, history. But I realized that she's been around a while, and I just kind of knew about her from last year because two of my peoples put me on to her. And so, so I realized that she's went against a lot of the greats too. So that's probably why she's also getting resistance. But she's very firm. So she went at Joy Reid and Talib this week, right? Because they went at her, and basically, for me to kind of get it out, they're basically calling people who are using the hashtag bots that they're not real black people.
Okay. And
they're calling them Russian bots, and so Talib kind of hopped on this and was telling these people to prove that they were black, So I'm being told these different things by my homeboy because he's really into it. Like, I'm kind of like new on the politics wave. Like, people kind of already assume, which I don't like. They assume that I'm a particular party just because of how I think, you know what I mean? And also because by history, I feel like black people are stereotypically Democrat,
Of course.
And so...
Or vote Democrat.
They're not...
a theory about that, too. I don't feel like black people feel as though they are Democrats. I feel as though they vote Democrat.
They vote Democrat.
I don't feel like we have an allegiance to
a
party.
Right, and that's why I keep bringing it up.
I
mean, Democrats deliberately speak to our, issues and our views.
They pander to us.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what I like about the whole movement, too, is that this year they're really on because we know that our vote is being used and we don't ever get anything from our vote, And they kind of, which I don't like, they blame that on, well, I'm going to tell you, she has had some not so nice things to say about Obama as well. Oh, man. Sorry. Because it wasn't recording, so I'm like, why is it doing this? Stop.
What did she say about? I don't think it's against the black code to say something negative about Obama.
Well, a lot of black people have spoken badly about him.
But when I don't like you can call out something that he may have done wrong because he's human. He can do things wrong. But when you kind of have that like angle agenda like anti-Obama, those are the black people I don't fuck with.
I think she's anti.
See,
you know what I mean?
I don't fuck with you if you anti him.
But
I'm not really fucking
she's one of those black people that feels like he didn't do anything for black people. Ooh. But that's not. I mean, I could be. All right, so this is surface on her. Like I said, I've only seen a couple of her blogs.
Yeah.
Her show is normally very long, so it's about you can get educated through it, and then you pick and choose. I'm at that point where as I'm learning, it's like I still look at her as still like an OG. The same way I looked at, but he lost me too. I looked at Boyce Watkins as like the OG, and his expertise is finance, and I also just gave him a certain amount of respect because not too many people, let alone black people, have a PhD in finance. That's just hard to come by. You know what I mean?
But something that I want to say, like, not because like a person that you pay attention to says one thing that you don't agree with.
Right.
I feel like means that you know what I mean? So I feel like it's okay to. I say that because I feel like you're putting up you're sharing a disclaimer.
I'm doing that because I posted about this and then I started seeing different things being said about her. It's what I don't like. Again, I don't like about us that we can never just be on one accord. Now I feel that she is one of the reasons why the presidential candidates, the potentials are even addressing reparations. It's not all to her, but it is to her and this other guy who's her partner and other people too. Tariq, now she has spoke on it. It's about 4 or 5 popular she's a conscious black woman essentially, but she also is a former assistant / she used to work for Boyce Watkins, so there's that connection too. So she is, She knows her shit. And it's also received a certain way when you're a woman who knows your shit. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I don't like that the attacks. So I put up a post about it because, long story short, I got into a back and forth with Talib. Not even back and forth. I got at him because my boy, he keeps sending me these tweets. So basically, Talib and her were having like a back and forth on Twitter. But she didn't really go back and forth with him. I feel like the other people who are, you know, kind of owning up to this ADOS thing, he's been going at them, and like it just seems like crazy. Like you're calling these black people who actually are your fans, you're calling them bots.
But didn't you say?
Oh yeah, so then we found out that his brother is on Kamala Harris's campaign, and so the Yvette Carnell, she knows her shit, so she brought it. This is how we found it out that his brother. So it's seeming like you're doing this on purpose. So you're the real agent.
Yeah, exactly.
You're the bot.
Yeah, he got big money coming if that shit comes into power.
So it's like, really, Talib? And so I basically lost it when I saw a tweet where he was and he's so disrespectful and so ignorant. Because if you even did a little research on her, you would know good and goddamn well that she's valid to speak on. You know what I'm saying? Like you right now, like tonight, you guys go and Google her and look at a couple of you would know that she's not a fucking bot, and he's calling her a Trump supporter. She's too militant. First of all, she's a militant woman, so she's too to be a fucking Trump supporter. It's because she said that Trump was right about something about black people's state.
But it's easy, like in politics, it's easy to harp on
run,
that.
Right.
I know so it's not true, but I'm gonna just take that shit and run with it.
So he's running with
this
it.
Shit is. You know how this shit is. But I don't know why Talib goes back and forth with people on Twitter that crazily. Like he's been doing that shit for like 10 years now. Like ever since I really started following him, and he been doing that shit. Like 10 years ago when I was hard body on Twitter, like all day, every day, he'd be going back and forth with people all day. Like, bro, you don't like.
But it's just so ignorant to call her a Trump supporter for one, based on a blog because she was co-signing something that Trump said about black people and wealth in America. And she has, again, my opinion of her, though, where I could take it with a grain of salt, I do find her to be a bit extreme. So I don't agree with everything, but she's so knowledgeable that you have to follow suit because she's telling you things that you don't fucking know. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then she's gotten that, she's gotten that everybody. Charlamagne, too. She's like, Charlamagne, you are not someone who's valid to speak on reparations because he basically was saying that it shouldn't be money. It should be like she's like, who told you that it should be money?
But
I've asked that too because like in what form is it like a stimulus check or is it like free benefits? Is it tax write-offs? Is it
they have to figure it out. Yeah. But I think also why she's getting slack is because the black people that are in position, you're not the reasons why it's even being talked about. So you feel a way about that. And then a lot of them are, I think that they've been in position and have not mentioned it. You've been scared to mention it or you've been cowardly because you probably feel like you're going to be judged. But fuck that. Everyone has, has people are still getting reparations to this day. You know what I mean?
Not us, though.
Not us. We never got it.
Not us, though.
But let me introduce our guest today. Introduce yourself, rather.
You don't know how it goes. This is Remo Marak up in the building,
All right.
Media personality, television producer, freelance videographer. Nonetheless,
welcome to Unpopular Opinions.
Yes. Welcome. Good to have you, bro.
I've been recently watching, as Raine told me about it last night. Literally.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. So I just wanted to definitely see what it was about. Definitely intrigued. So
word. Just chopping it. Right now we're talking about, I'm not sure if you're familiar, we were talking about, I was bringing to their attention. I don't know a lot about it, but I was sold on the concept, I guess, and also just the overall agenda that this year, or not this year, 2020, when, the campaign or whatever.
Yeah, when the next presidential
campaign, that black people should not be voting for anyone that does not have a black agenda. Even if it doesn't get fulfilled, it's like you need to cater to us. You know what I mean? And so that's also in this whole ADOS thing. So I was telling them about this woman named Yvette Carnell.
Okay.
And her and her partner, Tony, I can't think of his last name, but they created this hashtag called ADOS, American Descendant of Slaves. So the other issue, too, is that it seems to be backlash coming, too, because it would not include So I think too. So Talib and Joy Reid, right? So it would not include first generation immigrants. So I think that's also the issue. So Pan-Africans have an issue with it too.
So it felt exclusive.
That's a bit divisive. I could see
Right.
how people would feel a way about that.
But now, is it divisive if you're not descendant of the people that built the country?
Because I feel like it's a
You're
situation.
entitled to reparations based on slavery, not based on anything but that.
So let me tell you where it becomes tricky because and so this is what's difficult to quantify, and which is probably one of the things that makes this conversation difficult. Because people were picked up in Africa, but they were dropped off in different places. Right. And their connections.
This is American reparations.
And that I understand, but the issue becomes when we still have because that's why we're talking about national security, right? We still have people bringing their family members over. Right. The first I'm a first generation immigrant. Well, am I? Whatever
you would be.
Yeah, I'm considered one, right?
Yeah, right.
So, and American.
But that's what the first generation immigrant is. You're American, but your parents are from.
But
you're not.
But are we saying that I'm not entitled to?
I think it's crazy because
that's the issue. But see, that's the issue.
Yeah.
But then, all right, let me tell you. But let me tell you. So first, tell me why you think that you should be entitled to reparations.
So my dad is 100% African American.
Right.
And my mom is from the Caribbean. And
well, then that's all that matters.
No, but however,
he's born here.
Yeah, he was born in Richmond.
So before you go, ADOS means that you can trace your roots.
Yeah, back to Africa.
To slaves, to people in your family were actually slaves.
Let me tell you why. But let me tell you why I feel like it becomes problematic. Because what does that do for people's efforts in trying to claim citizenship of this country now?
But see, reparations are because the whole idea was that you're entitled to reparations.
I can still trace my roots back. I can still trace my roots back. I can.
No, so we wouldn't be entitled to reparations from Antigua.
But what I'm saying is,
how could you be entitled to not you, but someone who's not American? Be entitled to reparations from America.
Because when I come here and I claim my citizenship, when I come here and I denounce my citizenship from Antigua and I claim citizenship here, I can make an argument that I was also burdened by slavery.
But see, the way reparations works is that you have to prove that you have blood.
I could do that. I think a lot of us could do that shit.
No, you can do that.
They better not try and exclude us.
No. You can do that because this is where I'm saying where we need more information, right? And where I don't think it should be exclusive, but I do think that it should go. Parameters are necessary. Every black person can't claim that they're.
I actually feel I disagree.
But she's
so
heavily affected
every black person
by the consequences and the repercussions of slavery. Oh yeah. But maybe let's say her father wasn't. She would still be so heavily affected by what shit that happened in slavery. She got to be entitled to something.
But this is the issue. This is the issue. And this is where I guess where she's standing firm, Yvette Carnell, right? Because American descendant of slave means just that. You are an American born who can trace your roots, lineage to people who built this country. Absolutely. Reparations is because we were enslaved in this country. It's not reparations to Africa. It's not reparations to West Indies. It's reparations to Americans.
But I feel like on a day-to-day
America's
basis,
paying the money.
She faces the shit so heavily that it's they're entitled to something. You know what I'm saying?
Whether or not you can. But
you didn't come to this country to win, though.
But systemic oppression, one, is already
so you
a
have
factor,
to take
right?
that up with your homeland.
But then but if we're speaking about tracing lineage, the reality is I feel like that becomes a complex situation as is because I might have come from Antigua, but we might share the same blood. We never know because they stopped off in my country before they came here. So you might be my distant cousin, and it's highly likely.
They didn't build. But that's saying that that's saying that
Auntie got on the boat.
But she didn't build the country.
Yes, she did.
No,
we all sacrificed from that shit.
No.
Fuck that.
That's
the
where
whole
it's
family
clear.
sacrificed.
But that's where it's clear. No. If Auntie didn't make it to America, she built Antigua. Black people may be owed reparations around the world, but we're right now is the first time we're getting American president candidates to address reparations. But the determining factor is the slaves the Africans that were dropped off in the U.S. Can you trace but it's not really hard. You know why? Because when you do lineage, you find out that you're not that far removed. That means I don't know my own history, right? But I know for a fact that my mom hasn't told me that, but I'm saying that a great grandperson, like somebody, my mother's mother's mother, is easily traceable, and because it's not that far removed as to when, you know what I'm saying? So if you can trace to your great grandmother that your great grandmother was a slave, that you're included in that for America.
See, and I think, so the reason why I say it's hard, personally for me, and this is why I say, like, black people have the ability to be transformative, because I don't think I can think of, like, just blacks in America. And I think it's because, like, to my core, I'm not just from this place. I'm from...
But you're not.
Wait, what? But I'm not what?
You're not just from here.
My point exactly. So, like,
but
I can't...
you are not. You have an black American father and an Antiguan mother. So that's why it makes sense that you can't conceptualize just being from here because you're not.
Essentially, but that's why I feel like that's what makes it problematic, because I feel like the conversation becomes about, like, the divisiveness of it. Then that's the thing that historically we haven't been able to move beyond.
Then it becomes the whole thing of categorizing. Okay, was this person from, like, how you are you born from Antigua? Or for me, for example, you know what I'm saying? My dad's Trinidadian, my mother is from South Carolina. She's African American. Then that comes into play. It's a slippery slope, though.
It is.
I mean, we gotta admit it to that.
But see, here's the question, though. This is where it comes down to, right? And I feel like this is where we need to, like, listen to what where she's coming from.
Okay.
Because it makes perfect sense that you're saying that's because I feel like the black people who are opposing ADOS and who are calling ADOS people bots are black people who are not descendant or first generation immigrant.
Because most of us
you don't have a right to it. No, most of you. No, hell, you're not.
I feel like a lot of us are, or a lot of our family members are.
What do you mean? Black people in America?
Yeah.
No.
I feel like a lot of us are, a lot of our family members are, like, tied to other countries, so it's going to be very difficult for us to, like, argue independently of it.
When did your mother come here?
Oh, that's complicated. So...
Because see, I want to know this, and you answer the same question. Because I want to know.
My mom came here I believe when she was younger.
What year?
She was like 15 or something like that.
But what year?
I don't know.
In the 60s?
Somewhere there about.
Exactly.
Wait, no, because she was born. One of them. Was she born? Thank God she don't listen to this.
How you don't even want your mom born?
She live in the Caribbean. This is all of this thing. All of this stuff is extra for her, and with all this cussing.
Before the 60s or after the 60s?
Yeah, she's gonna give you a licking.
She was born in the 50s, so probably in the 60s. Wait,
60s and 70s. How about your father?
From my understanding, my dad came here probably like in the 70s.
So
that's when my mother.
So this is you know what? So I'm glad you both said that. So historically, right? Historically, they were not allowed to come here before that time.
Right.
The foundation of the enslavement of the black person in America is 100 years before that, 400 years before that.
But I feel like
that also breaks off entitlement.
But it doesn't. That doesn't mean. So there are a couple of factors, right? Because reparations. So first and foremost, it's about what reparations are being issued for, right? And are reparations being issued because
they're being issued for enslavement in America?
Okay, so then we need to have a conversation about reparations for enslavement in America and reparations for just being black in America. Because
but see, that's not. That's one. That's even more
impossible.
That's impossible.
It's okay if you want to distribute 2 stipends, but we can't have one conversation and not the other.
This is the issue. It's
I
not
don't
about
think the
divisive.
2 could be mutually exclusive though. Like it's all one experience, and like
it's
the
not
day
one
to
experience.
day, I think it
100,
is.
no,
though.
it's
like,
not.
And I'm coming from the people like I can trace my great grandparents on both sides. I can trace back to here, so I will be one of the people that got it. But I can't exclude anybody else that
most
goes
certainly
through
can,
the
because
same
that's 150 years after the country was
but,
already built.
But what I'm saying
you came
is,
here after Black Americans already built the country.
You know
but
what?
every day in 2019, if you still might get killed by a cop the same way I might because of the seeds that were planted. But it's one experience to me, though.
Education, you got to educate yourself. No, reparations.
To me, it is. No. Well, what they're giving it for?
Jews get paid reparations based
for the Holocaust.
It's the same thing.
I don't know, but there were no consequences and repercussions from the Holocaust that still stretch on to today. They're not being discriminated against in Germany still to today.
We're not getting reparations for discrimination. That's not what we're doing. We're not getting reparations for discrimination.
But it's
I'm just telling you that's a dub. You're not getting reparations for discrimination.
But it's one
You're getting reparations for enslavement. Black Americans built America.
It was on the train. They might have got off at 14th and we got off at 42nd.
No,
you was on the same train. And the same train
of
the bullshit they did too.
The question is,
some of them died on the way.
I know that. I'm saying that you have to get reparations from the country that enslaved you. Not from you are not entitled.
But what if my great grandfather lived because your great grandfather died on the way? What if he was in one spot on the bus?
Can I assert myself and say something?
Our families got fucked up off the same shit.
Can I assert myself and say something? So this is where even the history of the United States of America come into play, right? Because if we want to be technical like that, and I don't understand United States history like that, the whole United States of America was not the whole United States of America when we were bringing black people over here.
All right.
So, if we want to sit down here and talk about, building foundations and shit like that, then we have to delineate all of those details. And no one wants to do all of that.
Territories
so
and
it's
shit,
how...
there's Mexican people
all of those things matter. And the reason why those things matter...
It still will exclude black people that are not a part of
But what
America.
about the Mexican people that were living in America in the area of Mexico that was Mexico before America came and took it over? Are they not entitled to it?
They're not entitled to reparations.
Why not?
Well, they might be entitled to their own.
They were. A lot of them when they went out west and took over all of the things.
Enslaved.
They were.
No,
I'm telling you, they were.
No, listen. No other people were taken from a country and brought over here for bondage. For slavery.
A lot of the Indians, a lot of the indigenous people that were in North America were enslaved.
No, enslaved. Understand the term, you're wrong. Enslavement, no. Enslavement means you were taken from a country, right? No other person, no other people that has ever happened to. When you were taken from a homeland and brought over here and your whole history was killed.
But if the people that were here were taken and made slaves, it's the same shit.
No, it's not.
If I came to your shit and made you a slave.
No, there's definitely a difference. There's definitely a difference.
No, it's not.
So, all right,
there's definitely a difference.
What's your name? I didn't get your name. I came in this real quick. I get
Carnegie,
right?
Yeah.
I get where he's coming from. What he's trying to say is, okay, the people that were originally here. I'm not disputing what you're saying. I'm just trying to.
But we are those people too.
Provide clarity.
Right. Provide clarity. What he's trying to say is, and also too, he forgot to mention they were actually Native Americans before they were Mexicans.
Yeah.
So hold on. So the ones that were
Mexicans now.
Yeah, right, Mexicans now. But the ones that were already here, we can't dismiss
them.
They
get reparations though.
No, hold on.
Yes, they do.
Mexicans
not Mexicans.
1 second.
Indigenous people of America have gotten cut checks.
But
they got land,
and they've stopped and they've tried to exclude black people out of that because a large portion of black people are, and that's what I'm saying. But a large portion of black people are indigenous people.
Yes, we are.
My grandmother was 100% Shinnecock Indian.
Yes.
So it's the same shit. So we can't tell them that they're not deserving of it too.
But let me tell you what. Let me tell you why.
They took their land from them and enslaved them.
Reef. The reason why she's saying that is because, even though, the indigenous groups were here, they were able to they were enslaved in their own countries. Whereas, people
that's not enslavement.
Forgive me.
Right.
I'm not.
No, I'm
sorry.
The
pressure. Shit.
Working for free.
I'm trying to provide clarification really quickly before y'all start jumping.
No.
I don't think enslavement necessarily means that you have to be taken from another country because the Jews were enslaved in Egypt and they weren't taken from other countries.
That's not you're misusing the word. That's why.
I don't think so.
No, I have a minor in this. We were taught that it's not enslavement is particularly one thing. It's not what you say. Slavery existed before black people were enslaved. Right. Slavery ran the world. Slavery. Right. Enslavement is not the same thing.
One word comes from the other.
No, but it's enslavement.
Slavery doesn't come from the word enslavement. I'm looking it up right now.
It's not the same thing. Enslavement is different.
Yeah. I don't think you have to be taken from a country.
So
we are the only people that ever happened to. So you keep saying that.
Yeah. So we fight in the same. We fight in the same fight. Here's the thing, right? Mm-hmm. My question is because we say if we weren't taken from our countries, My questions are, and let me get them out.
Okay.
Who the hell took us, right? And the reason why I say who, because if the United States was not an organized entity at that time,
right.
if we talk in business, and if I'm
right.
supposed to speak your language,
right.
if it was not an organized entity, then there's a larger governing force who might be able to be responsible for it.
Right.
And then they're who I need to speak with, because I will have a problem if only the black people in the United States is getting money when I know my ass came from some sub-Saharan African country and I was dropped off. Like I love where I'm from, and like I love Antigua, blah 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 blah. And like, but not even Antiguan people would particularly claim me because I'm American, right? So, but the big idea here is, if we're going to talk about it, let's talk about like the actual problem that people were rooted from a country and taken to others. That entire country needs to be spoken for, not just those in America. And so with that said, was America formed then? Because if they weren't, who the hell do we need to be speaking to transnationally about reparations?
Listen, that's tough. Because
this is why I'm saying that.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you address it, right?
Yeah,
this is why I'm saying that we're speaking from a point of not full education on reparations, right? We need to do more, follow more people that are more in tune with it, because these questions are being answered. Yvette Carnell is one of them. I do believe, even though I don't subscribe to some of his shit, Tariq Nasheed as well.
Yeah, he's pretty dope. He's been
spot
on. He's been spot on.
And so we have to educate. That's what I'm saying. That I think that this is what's causing the rift, and I'm glad that I brought it up, because I particularly brought it up because I knew that you would see the issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is an issue. Do I feel that all black people are entitled to something? Yes, I do. But I'm saying that.
Real.
Right, and I'm saying that if we're going, see, when y'all were telling me that, I'm like, I know that. I tell people this all the time, because that's my problem. Where I was saying shows before, we never focus on the similarities, right? And so as a black American, I could take that. That's another part too that she said that made me see the issue too. Black Americans who are from here, I can't speak for everyone, but I can say for myself. As a young person, I never really had an allegiance to being American. Black people don't subscribe. We don't know our, like, even as a young, you see it. It's like,
I mean, because it was something that was assigned, right? It was the title. Even the idea of being African American, that was
not even
something
that.
that was assigned.
I'm just saying the whole idea of being American. Period. You know, not just Black American. Just being I never had an allegiance to the United States.
Patriotic? Why?
Right. Exactly. So we were raised that way. So this is what is changing by adopting or by owning or by claiming ADOS, because now it's like you're claiming it because that's the only way. This is what I'm trying to say. That's the only way reparations are even possible, because you would have to claim to be from here, and you would have to be able to say how you're from here. And that has been that's why it's a change, because now it forces people who are from here, who are black, to own it.
But then that's what I was saying about, like, so where's the line drawn? Like, you're saying you're from here, how? Because you're tracing your lineage back a couple of, generations or whatever. So the people who actually were here, like the Mexicans and the Indians that actually were here, they don't get it too?
They get it already.
But what I'm saying is that the Mexicans,
why you keep saying that?
The Mexicans don't get nothing.
No, you're not wrong.
Mexicans don't
get
nothing. Not
Mexicans. But indigenous people have gotten land. They get something from the United States. The only
shit is
people
super bullshit.
It's not bullshit. It's a fact.
They don't get nothing. They had the entire country and they've been reduced to these little pieces of land. That's nothing.
Got it. So I feel like are you saying that if we're gonna have the conversation about reparations, we need to question like equity with like
what I'm saying is that you can't exclude certain people because it's all from the same experience. We all got the dick into the stick.
I mean, that's real.
Same experience.
So what's funny? What's so funny is that
I'm somebody that's supposed to get 100%, but I'm not gonna tell somebody that was on the same ship that may have got off at an earlier stop than me that they don't deserve the same shit that I did. Like,
they're not in America. If you're not tracing it's not. They deserve reparations from the country that enslaved them. It's not. If we're going by the fact,
an American ship dropped you over there and you were in one of
an American ship.
Commonwealth.
Yeah,
it was.
They stepped off.
Yes, they were. Those were American Commonwealths at the time.
It dropped. the one ship dropped off different slaves, different places, right?
The ships, first off, if I'm not mistaken, historically, or even for that matter, what's been documented, even what I've learned from Caribbean history, they came from Europe and Spain.
So this is why I'm talking about. Let's ask, like, let's talk about transnational representation.
No, right. No, but here's what I'm gonna go with. So, with everything that happened, that said, right? So, from my understanding,
none of them came from America. America was the last stop. We didn't say they came from America, went somewhere and brought them back. These were conquistadors and people from England, like George
England, the Norwegian countries, Spain, of thereof. So if I'm not mistaken, the original people, they were Arawaks and those Parawats, right?
Arawaks, the Caribs, the Maroons.
The Caribs and Maroons, right? So basically what happened around that time, which I'm also speaking about, is of when the Willie Lynch letter was created, right? So they came over here to the Caribbean thereof. They found a way how to, if I'm not mistaken, the Arawaks were of land. Or were they of sea? I forgot which one. I forgot which tribe was of sea and one was of land. So what they did was, they switched their habitats. That's how they fucked them over and was able to get them and to slave them and bring them over to all different types.
But they were also like peaceful as well.
Right, they were peaceful as well. Right, but
it was the Caribs who weren't and like any place. I feel like the Caribbean islands where you see that the people have a little bit more autonomy.
Right.
Like is because the representation of the people, of the actual native-born people, they were a little bit more aggressive.
Right. So now here we come with some were taken to. What's that spot in it's middle of Asia and Africa, Mesopotamia. So some were taken to Mesopotamia, some were taken to America, some were taken to other parts of Europe thereof. You know what I'm saying?
That makes us all African.
Right. That makes us all African.
That's
No, right. So now when it comes to play with America now, right? As you were saying, there were hold on.
No, it's making me think even more.
No. Hold on. So now. The people that were already here, so let's just call it what it is, Native Americans, period, because they were Native Americans before they were Mexican and changed to other whatever. So now comes that part, right? So now here comes Europe, dropped us off. So now we got to migrate with them, right? Because now it's Native Americans and us. We're both looking at each other. I'm not trying to be comical about it. We're both looking at each other like, what the hell is this? Then come the Pilgrims and whatever, and so forth. So it adds on to more confusion. So now we're coming to let's say fast forward, now we're in what? 1776. Let's just go with that. Now we're talking about independence and trade and crops, and you got 40 acres and a mule, and you got so many other things and instances that are happening to a point where now we fast forward now even to now modern times. How we're getting to not arguments, but it's highly debates, and it's hard debates because it's hard to pinpoint. But both of you guys are having great points. It's just unfortunately it's.
But you know what's funny to me?
Is
that when it's like I don't know how to articulate this, but I feel that this is why it's getting so much slack. Is because you cannot want to now claim something that you never want to claim before.
Right.
So
you can respond afterwards, but it's the same thing. So we've had these talks before about just how I say that we don't focus as a people on the similarities. We focus on like, and I must be bold. Like West Indians focused on West Indian tradition. It's like you're a Yankee, and then Yankees say shit about West Indians, Africans, whatever. It's all this ignorance, right? But now when we come into a topic of reparations, everyone's entitled to it. How?
Can I call you out really quickly?
Please do.
Because you can't in one breath speak about this idea of us needing to maintain a united front and not being divisive, but then not speak to the core of the issue and say that, like, if we're having a conversation about like what black people deserve because they were ripped from their country, like if that's the conversation, let's focus on the conversation and let's not question who should claim what, because that in itself is like divisive in itself.
But reparations are entitled to the builders of this country.
Give me
it's
a
not
second.
Entitled to West Indians and Africans.
Give me a second. Like the reason why that is problematic, like the reason why that is problematic from jump,
but not that.
The reason why it's problematic from jump is because, like, what it doesn't assume is, like, yes, in the history books we read that boat boat went from A to B.
Right.
But we're not taking into consideration, like, oh, a boat might have had to stop off in the fucking Caribbean, one, for trade purposes, because somebody needed to pick up sugar and bauxite, two, because of technical difficulties. So you never know if people were getting off boats, getting back on boats. We're not thinking about that. But why are we stopping there?
That what matters is where you were dropped off.
No.
The only connecting factor is that we're all African. That was always my focus. We are all African. No matter where you got dropped off, we are all black.
So if you speak about the idea of being divisive,
let me finish my point. But as far as this country, you didn't build this country.
Neither did you.
No, yes, my grandmother did. She did build this country.
So
yours
all
did not.
of our families actually. So my daddy did.
Your daddy's family did. That's it.
My daddy's family did. But no, for me, like it just seems a little hypocritical, right?
How?
Because the reality is, like, what are we trying to solve for? What are we like? What are you? What I guess maybe I misaligned on what the goal is, because for me the goal is to like empower all black people, not to become exclusive as. Like me showing pride,
okay to be exclusive
me showing pride in being Caribbean. No, because the reality
most
is
Caribbeans are not even as educated as you are about black people. They're not. They're not.
That is a
the
fallacy.
Ignorance is spewed by both American, but Black Americans and West Indians and Africans all have the same equal ignorance.
I'm sorry, but
it's all the same.
But if I can
ignorance.
really challenge that, like the foundation, like when you speak about the foundation of like just even being confident and being willing to challenge like. White people, Caribbean people are a little bit more comfortable with doing that. So when you speak about people who are going off to like colleges and shit like that, I'm sure that you'll find that there's a greater probability of people like who are migrating here who are in college. So like I don't want to get into the details of that because
No, I get all right. So
what does that have to do with the topic?
So Raine.
But that's where you're taking it, right?
No, I'm not.
I feel like that's where it's going.
Ignorance. I'm saying that the ignorance that we spew, which is created by white supremacy, is equal amongst all black people. It's equal. The same ignorances that we have as Black Americans. You have black people who are from Africa, from West Indies are ignorant about that. And it's equal. It's not. You do this more. I hate when it comes up because it's not. It's very equal.
I do not
but
disagree.
I'm saying that I'm not saying you should be. I'm saying that we have to know the plan. I'm saying that people who are black people who are not from here are entitled to something. But when it comes, if reparations are based on the building of this country, to me, there's a disconnect when you say that you're entitled to building this country because we may have similar relatives because the boat stopped in your country before it got here.
But can
that
you
makes
separate
no sense to
slavery
me.
I'm
and
sorry.
Jim Crow and civil rights and the KKK? Like, I don't see a point where you can separate all of that. To me, it's all one.
That's America.
One experience.
For
like
me,
I can't separate.
Where's the outside experience? And the three things you just named, what's non-American?
No, but what I'm saying
is
answer
that question. The three things you just named. You said KKK, Jim Crow, and what else? Something else. What is non-American? What about those three things?
Any of that.
Right. So that makes you null and
KKK,
void.
But what I'm saying is, how can you say that someone of West Indian descent is void of that experience?
In America!
Jim Crow is only
Raine,
in America.
Raine, I guess my biggest
But how can you say somebody who lives in America wasn't affected by Jim Crow? That's what I'm saying. My big issue
about this.
What the fuck are you talking about? I'm talking about America.
So then how can we say that they're not entitled to the reparations if they're affected by Jim Crow? Somebody who's West Indian. It's all one experience.
Jim Crow?
What's
the year of Jim Crow?
Well, wait, we're having a yelling match.
Here's the 40s, 50s?
West Indians were not even fucking here.
I know mad West Indians whose family was here at that time, who might have came around here in 1900 or 1910 or 1950. You can't be exclusive to. It can't be exclusive.
I need proof. We just had two first generation immigrants say that their parents came here in the 60s and 70s. You're telling me now because based on history, they weren't even.
This is how she gets misconstrued. This is how she gets misconstrued. Hold up.
If your people been here since 17 something, you gotta be like 7th or 8th or 9th generation.
I don't even.
Because that's 400 years. So if you're fourth generation,
West Indian though.
But what I'm saying is, if you're fourth generation, if you're fourth, hypothetically, if you're fourth generation, when did those people come here?
So right now we're not even operating off of facts because I don't remember.
He never does though.
You want to say 30?
Off of facts, yo.
I'm asking y'all a question. How many years constitutes a generation?
A generation, isn't it? A generation not 100?
Yeah, it's like about
Nah, I don't think a generation.
I thought
is
a generation is like a gap
Yeah,
of a no. Because
so if you first generation, then that means your family came in 1919, right?
That's
It's
not true. That's
2019.
not true.
So if that's what you're going by,
You guys,
if it's
we're
100 years,
young.
I'm asking you.
No.
Again, I'm asking. So what constitutes a generation? Tell me, so I can then elaborate. However long y'all want to say.
I'm not 100.
30 years, 50.
I'm not
So if it's
100%
50
sure.
and you're a second generation person, then when did your people come here?
In the 60s.
1919, right?
No.
50 times 2 is what?
19.
Y'all just said one generation is 50 years. So what is 2?
know.
So if one generation is 50 years, then what is 2?
If I could
100,
share.
right?
No,
If I
you
could
need
share,
facts, yo.
if I could share, because
I'm
we're
asking
deviating.
y'all.
We don't know. We just said we don't know. You don't know. We all don't know. So stop it. So just
You
stop
have
it.
to know.
Let her
We have
talk,
to have
man.
some.
Let her
We're
talk.
deviating
We have
from
to have
know.
some point of reference. We have to have some point of
No,
reference.
well,
So
we don't
you
have
got to
one
know
right
what a
now.
generation
We
is.
don't have-
A
let her
generation
talk.
is
Let
probably
her
about
talk, yo.
30
Let
or
her talk.
40.
Let her talk, yo. Let her talk.
Go ahead.
The one thing, okay, so one point that I want to make, because like as it relates to generations and shit, that part I don't understand. But so another point to this idea of like being exclusive. America, the reason why it's important to understand where America was is because America today is different from America back then.
Right.
And one could argue that a lot of Caribbean people or a lot of immigrants or people who moved here from other countries had a huge impact on like just the narrative and politics and decisions that have been made that forms America today. So if we're speaking about reparations and we're assessing reparations from
Based on what?
then
Based
to
on what?
now,
No, based on what?
then
You have to explain that.
what do you mean?
So explain that. It's real simple.
So when you say-
it's not defensive. I think I'm not being defensive at all.
Got it.
I'm asking you to explain something. All I'm asking, you just said that a lot of West Indians have had an impact on the America today. Based on what?
A lot of immigrants have, because America was not built in one day. America today is different from what America was 10 years ago.
Specifically
From being able, from even being, from moving here, from having tax, from paying tax money here, from like owning jobs and applying your skill set here, from like retiring here,
American
paying.
population is Native Americans with all immigrants.
We're not talking about Native Americans though. We're talking
When
about
we're
black
speaking
people.
about, when we're speaking
West
about,
Indians and Africans.
when
We're
we're
African people only.
when we're speaking about the building of this country, it didn't just happen during the period of slavery.
Of course
right?
not.
And if we're having a conversation about reparations, one would assess that we're having a conversation about reparations as of today for people in this country today.
No,
is that a fallacy?
I think that we all need to do more research and then come back when we know what.
I did some research, and dictionary.com says the definition of enslaved says to make a slave or reduce to slavery with nothing specific from bringing from one country to another.
No, that's something
like
that,
I said,
that you learn.
I don't think that's something specific,
that
country specific.
You can think all you want.
An addiction can enslave you. It has nothing to do, like you can use enslave in many different terms. It has nothing to do with, no, it can't. It's the English language.
I just feel like we're having different arguments.
Yeah, enslave isn't specific.
No.
It's specific from taking from one country to another.
That is taught
what I'm saying.
That's something as you can be right, but I'm saying what is taught when
people
you,
get
when
enslaved
you,
within their own countries.
Can I finish? No.
Yes, they do.
I'm saying
all the time.
You have a minor in Black Studies, correct?
Major.
I have a minor. So did you not learn the term enslavement within your major?
Yeah, but to be honest, I have to go back to my books because I don't remember all that shit off the top of my head. I looked and I saw all of that.
That's not gonna be. That's not gonna be. It's not what you're taught when you major or minor in Black Studies.
But show me something that says that it is specific.
But but that wasn't
from
even
one
the core
country to another.
That wasn't
because
the core
shit
of the
that's
argument.
happening in Rwanda right now is not enslavement, and none of them are not being taken. That you said that the term enslavement is specific.
That Black people are the only people in the world that were ever taken from a country, stripped of their history and brought somewhere else. Name one other group of people. I never
disputed that. And there are many other cultures of people that have been enslaved.
Name
the
one.
people in Rwanda right now that have not left their country at all, that are being enslaved by their own government.
Can I moderate?
How are they not slaves?
Can I moderate?
How are they not slaves?
Can I moderate?
When did I say it was the same thing?
Can I moderate? Can I moderate? Can I moderate? Can I moderate?
You're saying that enslavement is only taken
told me to
from one
moderate.
country to another.
You told me moderate.
That's not true. You did say that. That was a quote. That was a quote.
I just said what I said.
All right, so if I put you back to the page, you said, did she not say that?
My nigga,
did she
shut
not
the
say
fuck
that?
up.
Can
Did
I
she not say
moderate?
that? Did she not say that?
What I said
you said that. No, fuck out of it. You can't. Anytime somebody disagrees with you, they wrong.
Y'all are not listening to one another. Y'all are not listening.
It's okay for somebody to have a different opinion from
It's not an opinion. It's education.
Yes, it is. It's okay for somebody to have another opinion. Anytime somebody goes against you, it's like they're going against God. It's not like that. You're not the end all be all.
I'm not.
You're not the end all be all.
I'm not.
Like, fuck, it's okay for somebody to have a difference of opinion with you. Everything you say automatically.
No, I'm educated though.
You said
You guys, wait,
enslavement was
hold up.
particularly taking from one country to another.
Wait,
and I looked up the definition, and it was not country specific.
That's not what I said. I said that there are no other people in the world that will ever.
I'll show you the clip.
This is what I said though. No, understand where you're wrong at.
Can we have a moment of silence,
We
please?
can, but now I'm
one moment.
No, because he didn't shut the fuck up in 10 minutes. Now I'm responding to it.
Wait.
I'm responding
You
to
always
it.
do
Hold
that.
on,
You be
one second.
talking,
Right.
talking. Nobody else can have.
No.
You always say you're right. In every other situation, you always say you're right. It's never okay for somebody to have a difference of opinion.
It's not
with you.
about opinion.
Like it
You
is. It's all opinions. It's all opinions.
No, it's not.
No matter of fact.
It's not
These
all
are all
about opinions. It's not all opinions.
The show's called Unpopular Opinions.
But
None of this
educate
is
your opinion,
fact.
Sharif.
I just looked up a fucking the definition from dictionary.com. What more do you want?
Dictionary.com.
You guys, we're having
That
different.
literally defines what words mean. You told me
I told you, I learned it
You
as a
told me
major
the
in
word
black studies.
You guys,
enslavement
hold up.
meant one thing and it
Whoa,
didn't.
whoa,
We're using a lot of airtime
Right.
arguing, right? We're using a lot of airtime arguing, and it's good passion, but we're arguing two different arguments.
We are. We
And
always argue two
hold
different
on,
arguments.
hold
You never
on.
fucking listen.
I need you to.
You
I
always
need
put
you
your
to.
opinion out
I
of
need you to
fucking ass.
It
hold
don't
on
matter.
to.
Anytime somebody has a
Opinions
difference
out
of
your
opinion,
ass.
You guys,
whatever.
I'm trying to de-escalate, but y'all not
I
helping.
don't
Yours is
care.
not
Raine, you ain't
I
helping
don't
right
care.
now.
I
either.
don't
Hold on.
care.
Uneducated.
Hold on, you're not helping right now.
I forgot you had an
Uneducated.
MD from
It's
Harvard.
so
I went to
what?
college too.
So what?
What the
Talk
fuck
about
does that
college. You
mean?
major in black
What does that
studies, though.
mean? So what? We're
Hey.
talking about the word enslavement.
Hey.
Talking about the word enslavement. Like, I don't care. Nobody opinion don't trump
Reef,
mine.
hold
You
on.
can have yours, I can have mine. But you're not going to tell me because I have a difference of opinion from you.
That's not
I'm
what I
stupid
said, though.
or I'm dumb. You
That's
call me
not what I
stupid or
said.
mad dumb. Mad times for disagreeing with you. Like you the fucking
Not
end all be all.
disagreeing.
Like you God or something.
Hold up.
Anytime
You
niggas
guys-
disagree with
No,
you,
that's
you
true.
dumb. I'm dumb.
Hold
'Cause I
on,
disagree with you, bro.
Okay,
Fuck that.
you
I
guys
can't disagree.
know that it-
All right, hold on.
Fuck out of here. Like,
Before
why
we can
can't
move
I can
on.
disagree with my own fucking father. I can't disagree with you because everything you say is right. Come on, man.
That's not what I
You
said.
guys, hold on.
I'm dumb. I'm stupid. I'm pulling shit out my ass. I never try to belittle your
Reef,
opinion like
hold
that.
on, hold on.
You shut the fuck up, man.
Right now, both
Fuck.
of y'all are
You can't
upset.
take nobody telling you something.
I've been quiet for
Fuck.
He's still going.
Yeah.
All you do
Mad?
is say, shut up, you
All right,
dumb,
Reef.
you
You are dumb.
stupid.
All right, Reef.
Fuck.
All right, it's over.
Like,
Hey,
I gotta have a difference of opinion from
you.
you.
Can.
Period.
Hold on. Listen, y'all both can. We're losing out of focus of the fact of what we're trying to get to the resolution. That's the problem in this country right now. We're having too many people that are saying, okay, yours is too wrong, mine's is too right.
I
or whatever.
respect everybody's
No,
opinion.
right. No, but I'm just saying. I'm just talking in the totality of the matter. Right now, all four of us are coming with certain insights and certain views of what is what. Now, here's what
And I'm not dismissing
no.
nothing that none of y'all
Listen.
saying.
Now, here's what I'm gonna tell you. Okay, what she's speaking of, I'm telling you, I'm not disputing that you didn't go to college or if you did take the studies or not.
Let me just
And-
apologize.
and- yeah,
No,
right.
I will apologize.
that's
No,
fine.
let me just do that because this is where he's getting the whole thing. I will apologize for calling you dumb, and I will apologize for saying you were stupid. But the whole, and I'm not gonna even go. That's all I'm apologizing for. But you are literally arguing about something like she was saying that we're not. It's two different points of reference, and I did not say what my main point about enslavement was that there are not it's no other group of people that were ever taken from their homeland and distributed around the world and stripped of their history. You can't name one, and you keep
I agree
Raine.
with that.
He kept
I agree with that 100%.
But he kept.
I
Did
agree
you-
with that
Wait,
100%.
wait, y'all should talk
I
to
agree
one
with that
another.
100%.
in a
What I'm
calm
saying
voice.
is, no, my rebuttal to that was that is not the only instance of enslavement in the history of the world.
I didn't say
Absolutely
that,
not.
though.
And so
I didn't say it
But what
was.
Reef, the big thing is slavery. I think what Raine is trying to say, and I could be
He's
wrong.
talking about
Give me
slavery.
give me a moment. What I think Raine is trying to say, because there is a difference between like enslavement and slavery. I think
Right.
I think one of them speaks to like being moved from your habitat to another, and I think that's the core of the difference that she was trying to share. I think you're trying to say that like inconvenience by being enslaved in like regardless doesn't matter. I know what you're talking about because I looked up Miriam as we were talking,
and I was
so I
to
can
say
look up
he's
the difference.
Misusing the word. That's why I said from jump before the argument, you're misusing the word.
I know, but because he used the dictionary,
enslavement
because
isn't specific to being moved from one country to another. Because what's happening to the people in Rwanda right now?
But what I'm saying
being
is
enslaved by their own government in their own country. Is that not enslavement?
No, I don't disagree with that, but I think in the language in the dialogue of African American studies, they have they did create a difference, and that's what she was trying to say, that they did create a difference between
because when I said it, you said fuck that, and you went and Googled it. You kind of
I didn't say fuck that.
Essentially, because I've been you can't, but you can't.
I was trying to educate myself. If you knew something that I didn't know, I was just trying to look up the word.
Before we got to the point of argument, I said that I distinctly said that. I said, you got a major or minor in black studies. I said, I minored in it. And I before we argued, I said, I was taught that as a minor. So I also said that you cannot look it up and find it. That's where the insults came from, because I'm saying that I'm literally trying to say, I'm trying to educate you based on how I was educated about enslavement. So when you kind of just went and did that, and I'm sitting here trying to tell you that this is how I was taught. So it's not a simple Google reference. The same way it wasn't taught. I was also taught that black, if we're going to use it as ownership, it should always be capitalized. Capital B-L-A-C-K. It should never be lowercase. Those things you don't learn. You can't look that up.
You're not going to Google it and stuff like that. I think we were just in the heat of the argument, and I feel like we just didn't hear one another, because I feel like you did say that, but I feel like naturally, like we were saying some things in our tones and all that extra shit, but it's because we've been mad passionate. But that's why they call this Unpopular Opinions.
No, right. But nonetheless.
Tune in next week for some more of the same.
But nonetheless, I mean, not to go back at it, but just to tell you, young brother, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if you're young or whatever. I'm an old head. I'm just saying. What she's speaking of is true, because even with me, as I stated before, learning in Caribbean history, I did have the same mentality as you before I took the course. That I even thought to myself, like, okay, enslavement, no, it's of that same ordinance. But then, and going through the lessons and going through that course, no, they do teach you that enslavement of what Raine is saying is of, okay, if I was let's say, if I'm in Trinidad, right? Now a boat came, took me away from my Trinidad history and everything, and brought me over to New York or whatever the case may be. That is considered for African. For the African American dialogue or African dialogue period, or for our history, and Pan African as well, diaspora. You know what I'm saying? That is the enslavement, which you're speaking of, and which you're correct. Even
it's slavery.
It's slavery, but it also too, unfortunately, with
because
Google,
it's the same word, like he said, it is a derivation of the word. So yes, it can be grouped. I was just trying to say that
of the diaspora.
I was just trying to say that specifically enslavement is like to kind of encapture a people, and take and no other group of people that's ever and this is what kind of also got under my skin. I guess why my temper flared is because you. In this topic, you keep bringing up all these other people, but that are not black. If you're gonna bring up black people, Mexicans, and what does that have to do with?
People that were actually here though, because they were enslaved too. They came here, their land was taken, and they were told, "Yo, you're working for free." So where do we draw the line? How can I say because my ancestors were brought here from Africa and they were actually here? Like how you gonna tell them they don't get it? Is what I'm saying. Like I can't tell them.
So that's the thing, right? And I think
but
this
I thought it was slavery reparations.
So
they were put into the
slavery
when they came here.
No, it was always about blacks.
Give me a moment.
What the fuck do Mexicans have to do with it?
Can you let me explain?
Okay.
I feel like I know I share the same sentiment that you share in terms of like, because I don't understand Mexican people's history nor Native American history.
California was Mexico.
And I get it, and I respect
and
it.
And then they came and jacked the shit and was like, yo, all y'all people here, y'all gonna fucking dig all of this shit for us for free and get the fuck out. It's
I believe
the same shit.
I'm just less inclined to apply my energy to advocating.
Because it ain't my fight.
They got the opportunity to get the fuck out. How is that the same shit? It's not the same shit.
So if I can say, I never feel like it's productive to say like my struggle was worse than yours.
I'm glad he said that. Go ahead.
But because I think essentially that is what we're doing. We're talking about whose struggle is greater.
We're talking about getting compensation for the struggle. And now this is why we always argue about this stuff, because it's misinformation. So he just now said that Mexicans, see, I don't know that history like that. He just now said that Mexicans were told that their land was hijacked. They were told to do this and get the fuck out. Black people were not given that is the concept of slavery. Black people were not given the opportunity to get the fuck out. Maybe one or two.
No, I understand the difference.
This is where I'm trying to.
No, but I think Reef gets the difference
did
now.
The same shit. The American Indians was the same shit. Like them little reservations, the little reservations that they got is the same shit. They took the land and moved them onto this little piece. Yo, this is your whole shit.
Give me a moment. Okay, got it. So in further explaining,
that's why I get upset.
That's what they pushed back. That's what they pushed back Mexico with. Mexico was all of Texas, half of California, Arizona. All of that was Mexico, and they pushed back the borders and took the people that were in those borders and made them slaves.
You're looking at everybody's struggle. I think Raine is only focused on black people's struggle.
No, what I'm saying is where do we cut it out? But to say that black people, but what I'm saying is if a black person can draw their lineage back to this country 4 generations, how can you stop somebody who can trace their lineage to this country 10 generations that was enslaved and tell them that they don't get it?
I think that's a real question.
Like, how?
That's the difference. You see how just now you
the
said
Mexicans
I think
didn't get
shit. He does not get the difference. That's the concept of slavery. The concept of slavery was a source of income for the world prior to. So that is what you're speaking about. If you have land and I come and take your land and make you work for me and do whatever and then allow you to leave, that is not the same. That's not the same thing as what happened to black people.
There's indentured servitude versus.
And that's where this is where he's.
I don't think they were allowed to leave. I don't think it was that kind of thing. No.
Right.
They made the borders and said anyone that is here is a slave. Anyone that's there is now, and that.
If I can share something really quickly, and I feel I do think that you get that part, but I think the thing that adds to that struggle is like when you take a people from like their native land, they're accustomed to doing certain things. They're accustomed to a certain way of life. If they do know how to crop, they know how to crop whatever's growing on that island or that piece of land. And so if they're moved from their country, like your language is different, your like the way of life is different, and how you have to operate is different. So that's why it feels like the experience of slavery for black folks that's why the experience of slavery for blacks will always be different from that of a Native American. But however. Right. And this is where you know where like people's passions are, right? Because my thing is like I think I'm arguing from the place of like it's all about black folks for me, but it's like it's black people all together.
I think that the black people who came to this country, this is the way I'm saying where I know for a fact this whole argument was somewhat but baseless because we didn't have facts. So this is why I tried to start it with tell me, because I was told by history that black people who were not from America did not start really coming into the country until some act was passed in the 60s. So I'm just saying that black people who were here from that time frame, I'm not saying that you don't deserve something. Systemic oppression, people who are experiencing systemic oppression in America, that's the main thing. All these other countries do not matter. In America, yes, you are entitled to something. I think that plan has to be laid out. But this is why I'm saying this argument was. Wait a minute. Wait. This is why I'm saying this argument was kind of baseless, is because then he said that for a fact. This is why I asked this. For a fact that West Indians and Africans came into the country in 1917. So I think we need facts, and we also
need. When did slavery end? When did slavery end? Like what year was that?
But the act wasn't passed until 1965 to allow black people from.
I'm asking like when did slavery end? Because how many of us can really trace our lineage all the way
Emancipation
back
Proclamation.
to
Technically, that means nothing.
That's what I'm saying. Is what like
1860 something.
And how many of us can actually trace? We saying our grandparents. Our grandparents was probably born like that's 1865. So our grandparents was probably born like 1920s, 1920s. So are we inherited? You know what I'm saying? Like, can you actually trace your shit back to real slaves? Can you? And then how can you tell somebody who can trace their shit back to the 1600s to say, yo, my motherfuckers was here since the 1600s? How you going to tell them? It's just like it's a fine line. I don't want to.
I've got to bring people on here who on the show too who are more educated in the topic.
I feel like, I feel like even saying that, I feel like
fact for myself as well.
You want me to talk?
If I play this for people who are in the know, I know for a fact we all sound. We don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
Raine,
that matters. That matters. I can go play this. My boy just told me he's only like 47.
I don't doubt that it matters.
His great grandfather was a slave. Even saying stuff that about tracing it back to 1865 is totally asinine.
Even you saying that. Okay, there are a couple of different things because I think it's one thing to be educated and another thing to be able to like just deduce from information. And I feel like what we're doing here is deducing from information, and it doesn't necessarily mean that we're not. Like we can't apply like education to the circumstance.
I think that we need to be talking about it with people that know more than we know.
Agreed. But can I share something really quickly? And I need you to listen with open ears. The idea of reparations is the idea of giving something to somebody who like deserve it because they have a loss, right? It's not even a law. So for us to even say that like, oh, we need to speak to someone who's educated about it. There's no fucking law that exists that's telling folks to give us X, Y, Z.
Yvette Carnell said the same thing about Charlemagne. He said what he said in that conversation. Charlemagne, you are not educated to speak on reparations. It's really that simple. It's that simple because it's that serious. It's probably not going to happen in our lifetime anyway.
But I think all we've been trying to do is at least share ideas on
right, but we're also sharing ideas from a pointless
Raine, let me talk, please.
I am.
You're not.
I am, but it makes sense, though.
I'm done talking.
No, because you're even saying that. You're even saying that I'm wrong to say that a more educated person than all of us should be talking about it. We're not educated on the topic.
If he's black, he can have his opinion. If he's black and he
cannot.
Why not? He's a part of somebody that should be getting a check. It's just like if he has a vote in the next presidential election, why does he not have the right to voice his opinion, whether it be ignorant or not? He's a person of color that may be getting a check from this. He deserves to be able to have his shit heard.
I kind of get from where Raine is coming from. All right, and I'm gonna try to bring it all into play. So when it comes to these type of things, right? Society feels okay. You need to have a professional, like I'm just putting it out there, professional lawyer, or you have to have a professional architect or a professional historian. But
to
only
speak on
to speak on the subject only because to educate and also it keeps the point of reference or the point of resolution to resolve in play. Now, when it comes to us here, right? We're all going to speak based off of our experiences. So Raine had experience in as a minor in Black Studies. Young lady right here, I forgot her name. Definitely want to know her name. She had her as a major in Black Studies. You, for yourself, based off of whatever you...
I'm just black.
No. Besides, you just black. We all just black. Me, on the other hand, I have experience as far as my mom and my dad. My dad, I'll give you his background track. He worked for the UN. My mom is a college professor. So I had no other choice growing up but to know these things or to know about the African diaspora and to know about the Arawats and Parawats and Caribbean history and stuff of that magnitude. Now, can I, for me, say that I'm a professional at it or thereof? No, not to the degree, but one can't refute the experiences that were given. Just the same as for Raine. I can't refute Raine's. I can't refute this young lady's. I can't refute yours. But we have to focus and realize what Raine was touching on before we got back heated again. We have to focus on where the aim is to get to resolve this matter at the end of the day. Because we're not focusing on the aim. Because, like I said...
And that's why I also started the conversation, which I hate talking about things that I don't even fully know. So that's where I will take full accountability and apologize again for my actions, my talking, because
or the passion.
Because even listening to it is just like I'm like, okay, now I'm thinking not that I shouldn't have started the conversation. I'm glad we had the conversation. I'm not saying that, but I don't like speaking on what we don't know fully. So then we got to a loophole a couple of times.
Right.
There is no official agenda, but there are people that look like us
that are speaking about it
on it for years. And that's all I'm saying is that we need more education because the loopholes are starting to come out is history.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. We should not be talking from that point because that's where the argument comes in too. Because we're speaking on stuff that we do not know.
But I think that's what's gonna happen to even get to the bottom of it. It's always gonna be those arguments of who gets it. And then there's going to be people with your point of view. It's going to be people with my point of view. It's going to be people with your point of view to it. There's so many people of color in this country. It's going to be so hard to narrow it down to say who gets it.
But the point of view should come after a point of there is a plan, and this is what the point of view should not be trying to like.
But I think to make the plan,
facts.
you got to think, who's included? Who's getting it? And I don't think we'll ever be able to siphon through that. Who deserves it? Because everybody's going to be like, I have some fucking right to this shit.
And
to a degree. I've been here, even if I came here in the 60s, but I built the country from now to then. Like, I'm entitled to that.
They are the whole entire time.
But the thing is, we didn't allow ourselves to dig into that conversation because we were sitting out here talking about let's get the facts. I know that I'm not educated on it, and I think we do a good job of saying like we don't know. And I want to go back and read on this shit. Look, fuck, I'm about to plan to go back and spend 90 minutes to try and like to even create a plan of action to understand where I'm gonna start to dig in. But I at least wanted to be able to like raise questions that I have even about the conversation as a whole, because I have issues just with the disconnections between like when like conglomerates and like the business of the United States was formed as a business and as an entity, and what it was then versus now, and like what that leads into the conversation of reparations. But that's a different angle, right? To ask questions from. I know that I don't know shit. Trust and believe that.
But again,
I'm not speaking and saying I'm putting things out there.
Was not trying to imply or impose that. That's why I distinctly said we. So I'm including myself. But I'm just making that a point. So if I threw that out there, I'm saying we as a group need to be more educated on it, because this is where the disconnect that we're having too is because when it's explained, when it's explained to me, when you just said that about companies being built, and this is what I'm trying to say, that those companies were established and built off the backs of black people in this country. And so the disconnect that we have is that you guys are kind of saying, which I'm not, and this is where I'm not necessarily defending that. I'm just saying I see where the people who have this agenda, where they have a disconnect between Black American and non-Black American or Black person from outside of America. Because the disconnect is when you guys, it is a fact, we all were dropped off. But how does that connect you to America?
So this is the point that I was trying to make, right, is that like the United States, it didn't start off as like how much states is in the country. Don't judge me.
No,
probably
50.
One of the reasons why you're saying I don't deserve reparations.
50 technically.
I own it, shit.
50,
but I'm a citizen, so they can't take that
technically
shit from me.
51 if you count Puerto Rico.
So with that said, right? It's say it started off with 5, okay? What like my big thing is from the point that it took from 5 to 50. Like, I know that, like, Q-Taisha's ancestors wouldn't be, like, entitled for it from the point of 5, right? But if my people were here from the point of 15, I wanted to be factored into that conversation.
But your people weren't.
And we don't know that. And the reason why I say that, the reason why I say that, because you can say that and you say that it's fact, right? And I hear that and I just live a different life, right? I don't take... I read things and I explore them for what they are, but I also understand human existence. I am looking at the writing of our history today and the integrity around the writing of our history today, and will it catch all of the details, right? And I'm very aware that that is a possibility. So I understand that the boat left from Ghana and came to America, but when I look at the lines, I even pulled up the map because this was something that stuck out to me in my damn social studies book, and I still have my damn social studies books from when I was a child. But when you look at the map, they were passing right by the Leeward Islands. Right. They were passing Antigua on a regular.
That was my question. So what? So connect. So
because if there was if there was some stopping off there, right? And I understand your thing about reparations in this country, but the reason why I'm saying that the argument is different.
Owe reparations.
Yeah, and the United States of America will owe those people who came here their reparations. Yes. I am trying to advance the conversation and say, should we, like, is that where we need to be stopping?
No,
like,
and that's what
can
I was
we have a conversation about a transnational agenda around? Because the reality is, everyone who was moved from that place was disadvantaged.
That's where we got miscommunication, because I
Facts.
agree with that off rip. I said
Facts.
that you would be entitled. No, but so did I. I said you would be entitled to reparations from those countries, not from America.
But
do you get half? Does she get half because of her father though? Like
yeah,
now,
her.
I get everything.
When I say you, I'm not saying her.
I know.
Nah, but would you?
Because
it's
saying
so
cash app
slippery.
that to me. You heard me?
I'm saying first generation immigrants is what they're referring to as black people who are here, whose parents are not from here. Mm-hmm. So the way it was brought to me, it was like the parents of like a Biggie Smalls. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Their parents.
I wish his ass wouldn't get reparations after he done put Brooklyn on the map.
I'm saying.
Biggie don't deserve reparations. Y'all ain't shit.
And then, like, what about
In 1994?
it?
Just make that shit. You get him right. Look at how big hip hop is now.
Wait, Biggie
I proved
came
it
here in
already.
94?
Come on, man.
No.
I forgot that was a great argument. That's a great argument in itself.
Oh, that's when, yeah. Okay.
I'm saying 94
Hey,
because
yo,
it's
that was
fire. That was fire.
No.
That was a great
But what
setup.
about second generation? Let's say like your grandparents came here and your mother was born
Biggie
here.
don't get no
Now
reparations.
you
No.
get- Yes, fuck.
No.
I don't
Biggie
know.
can't do it.
No, but see, that's why I should have said too.
No.
I'm filtering information that was filtered to me, right?
Right.
And again, that's why I
That's
preface
experience.
That,
That's based off experience.
No, I mean, but even this whole topic,
Right.
like I didn't even listen to her enough, or anyone who's been talking on it enough to even talk about it. But the thing that sold me on it off rip outside of reparations is just that there needs to be a black. That's where we can't agree. There needs to be a black agenda for the black vote. We have not demanded that
For
ever.
a long time.
We just vote
For a long
aimlessly,
time.
like we just gonna vote. But at least even if they like fronting, it still needs to be a campaign that includes a black agenda.
I think Obama did a good job of that. He was the only person that kind of really,
but
took us into it.
that was for the front though. I hate to say that. I know black people are gonna look at me kind of weird when I say
so?
that was.
See, now,
here's
now,
the reason why I
but
say
now
it for the
that
front.
Carnell,
Hold
she
on,
would be
hold
like,
on.
hell no.
Hold on. Here's the reason why it was the front. For
About
me,
it being for the front or not?
no, for me, for the front.
She thinks that Obama did not do shit.
Right.
Oh yeah, for the front.
Yeah,
A lot
it was
of
for the
black
front.
people think it
Let
was
me
for the front.
let me tell you why.
Wow.
But he did a lot for black people.
No,
too.
he did. No, here I'm not saying. Here's the thing. We
Can
gotta
I ask you one question before you even start? Do you think those were his intentions, or do you think that was like him playing the hand that he was dealt and it wound up happening like that, or do you think he went in over?
I think no. I think it's B, and the reason why I say it's B because on a realistic thing, and for the dynamics of this country, unfortunately, it wouldn't settle well, because back to what we were talking about earlier about the whole reparations thing, because then you're going to have white people going, oh, wait a minute, why is this for them? Then you're going to have the Spanish. Then you're going to have this one and that one coming to play. And for him as the president at that time, the temperature of those 8 years,
he probably got assassinated if he became some reparations. Assassinated. If Obama came like, yo, we getting reparations.
His wife
I was
probably
hoping that's how
assassinated.
he was gonna leave the office.
No. His wife gonna get assassinated. So here's the deal with the thing with me with him. I'll keep it a buck. For the hand that was dealt with him, and for the minor things he was able to do with it, I hate for black. I think black people are gonna hate what I'm gonna say. Guess what? Congratulate that was the best thing that could happen because at that temperature.
Yeah, ain't nobody gonna hate you for saying that.
No. There's some Negroes. There's some Negroes, because I've said this statement before.
They're not my friends.
No, they have said this. I have said this statement many a times, even before. And Raine can even co-sign for you of our early years at DSN when I had my show. There's many times I've mentioned that. And I've gotten some backlash, like, "Are you kidding me? You're wilding." No, I'm like you're bugging. No, I'm not. I'm like, this is what we as also of our people have to understand. We think too emotionally. Majority of us think too emotionally versus critical. You have to critically think. What I just said was a critical thought.
Like another Raine.
No. No, I'm not. What I'm talking about is a critical thought.
Say emotional,
we are not critical thinkers as a people.
As a people, we do not think critically.
No, we don't. The majority of us don't. Let's keep it a buck here.
I think even bigger than as black people, I think as Homo sapiens, people don't think critically.
No, right. No, but as far as for our people,
because we're adaptive. Because like this conversation that we were having could have very easily been about like how the fuck do we disrupt the United States and then just create like new organizations of new countries, right? Because we have the capacity to do that, right?
Right.
But we stop with like, oh, we need to represent, like, speak on behalf of America. Fuck that. Give me access to all the money. Let me start distributing it.
No, right. And also too, let's take it even with Bernie Sanders. When he was asked that, and there was a whole big backlash on him, whatever. And I'm not gonna
he curved it.
No. But hold on. But I see the reason for the curve.
He curved reparations.
No, he did to a degree.
He fronted
in
another setting as he was addressing it, but on the bigger platform he curved it. He was like he was stuttering and shit.
Right.
I mean,
but I can see why, because just like as you admitted, as you said, you didn't feel comfortable on something you're not highly informed on. I sensed that with him. I totally sensed it.
But now,
even from both platforms.
Diane Warren, she has been. Is that her name? I'm saying the right woman.
She's yes.
A big,
oh hell yeah, the white lady with the glasses. That's my.
She's been going.
She's been going apeshit. She's been going apeshit.
Going hard for reparations.
Yeah.
And she's been saying how it's
ally.
She's an ally. So Bernie Sanders, really, you've been an ally for all these years, and you stuttering now?
No, right. No, but I'm not defending him. I'm not defending him at all. I just feel for him. I feel as much. Let's keep it a buck here. As much many years. We're talking. This man has been going hard, or for that matter, whatever, for about 5 decades almost about 5 decades per se. You can see the time is kind of up with him. I mean, that's just for me. I don't know about everybody else.
Yeah.
That's just for me.
I don't know why Sean King been pushing him like.
No,
as if he's the one for this year.
I know why. That whole thing. We all know the why for that. That's all a game. That's all a promo thing. You could tell by that. But in regards to Bernie Sanders, like for me,
Bernie's dope.
Bernie's dope, but. Let's keep it a buck.
Is he going?
His time is shortening. Okay, listen, for 4 to 5 decades. You fought the fort. Hey, congratulations, but hey, it's time to move on. That's just for me.
So you saying like he's too old? You think he's too old?
It's beyond too old. It's human nature. Once you've done a certain thing, the vigor, you lose the vigor after a while.
I can feel that.
So you know what I'm saying? So even though, and I totally agree with you, Raine. Yeah, how you go on one platform and be stronghold, and then on another you're kind of like, because the vigor is you're losing the vigor. At the end of the day, you're losing the vigor. So at the end of the day, it is unfortunately with him. It is what it is based on what he felt. We as our people, you have to get out the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is this country's not for us. Let's just keep it a buck. It is what it is. What it is. At the end of the day, I hate to say that, it is what it is. Now, get past the elephant in the room. What are you going to do now outside of the room? What's the next step to get outside of the room? That's just basically what it is. And that comes with critical thinking.
But the thing is, because when you speak about what are you going to do to get outside of the room, like what type of responses are you seeking? Are you seeking like people being Marcus Garvey extremists? Let's go back to Africa. Or are you like, oh, let's go take over the government?
No, it's a combination of both. I mean, you have to do it consistently. That's one. I think with majority of our people, that's always been an issue. Is consistency. We raise up for when things. Hold on, we raise up for when things are against us. Then the clock ticks, and then now it's okay. Back to being complacent. That's just for me.
And you know what?
That's for me.
It's groupthink mentality.
That's how I feel about the Papa John's shit too.
It's groupthink mentality, right? This is what we've been allowed to do. You're allowed to protest. Right? So that's what you do, and then you stop, right? You don't organize all the black people with money and say, like, oh, let's stop. And, like, let's do this thing differently. You do what you're allowed to do. So, like, I get this idea of thinking critically.
Right.
But there's something to... I refuse to believe that us as human beings don't want more for like our existence and for like our families and offspring, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
And like there's something to this world being so busy and like the details or the responsibilities that we feel as though are bestowed upon us in this world on a day-to-day basis. It doesn't allow us to come out of the muck and think about these things.
Right.
So it's not that people do not think critically. Sorry. So I feel strongly just about the narrative that's put around Black people. Because it's not that they don't think critically, they don't have the time to, nor.
Right.
Like, and you don't know. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. No. I mean, that's put into play.
Time is not the only factor in my opinion, right?
That's put into play.
And, like, you don't know what you don't know. So, like, because oftentimes people, like, have a goal, like, it's a goal in pursuit of an end goal, right? It's not, like, in pursuit of a lifestyle habit. It's not let me go get educated because reading for the rest of my life it's let me go get a bachelor's. That didn't make you educated. You can go to get a bachelor's and be dumb as fuck.
Facts.
Right? So, like, but we are so connected to, like, an end goal. Everyone's connected to an end goal. So very easily, like, we become lost in, like, our connections to those end goals. And we become complacent in routine and habit. So we speak about consistency is people haven't seen, because if they see it, then people want to mimic it. If people see, like, someone challenges the status quo a different way, then they'll do it. Just like Facebook, right? Facebook came out, then everybody wanted to come up with some shit like that. And Facebook wasn't the only one. I know Black Planet was first, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
But the reality is that it's not that people don't think critically, but our worlds are also kept so busy where we don't have time to think. I am so wrapped up in work that sometimes I cannot think about planning to file my taxes.
But that's not having time to think, not think critically.
I get
thinking.
No, I get where she's coming from though. It's more so.
Critical is another level.
No, she's speaking. Levels
to that shit.
What she's speaking of is being benign. So being benign. That's being benign as far as I work. If you have kids, you have the kids to worry about. But also in the same token, though, you still have to consistently keep the status or the status quo thereof within your family or within your generation.
But it depends on what your family's status quo was, and oftentimes we forget that we don't come from wealth. We come from.
Okay.
She says that to you.
Oftentimes we don't come from wealth. We come from a place where, like, our status quo was, like,
from the
reason why we're comfortable about going out to go get a job and, like, just being able to pay the bills is because that's what our parents were able to aspire to.
Okay.
So, like, because they didn't like, it wasn't go out and go be president. Like, now maybe that narrative is different, right? But that narrative has changed because times have changed because we were able to.
Okay.
Like, so I feel like we oftentimes forget that. It's not that people don't want to. Oftentimes people are not exposed. And not just because, just like JessHilarious, not just because she has the access to the money means that she knows that she needs to go and spend money on training. If she doesn't know that she needs that training and somebody's not around her saying, hey, girl, you need to go get some public training, she's not going to know to prioritize that. In the very same way with Black folks. I don't know that I need to go sit down at my local community meeting. That shit is not advertised to me. It's not advertised in my local newspaper, and maybe in my local newspaper. But, like, and then, like, and let's even speak about the foundation of reading. The one thing that's supposed to, because reading, and I always get irritated by this shit, right? When people like to say, like, reading, that's the way of life, or that's the way, like, to continue to get smarter. Reading is a consumption of information. You consume information so many different ways. I'm going to go off on a tangent, so let me put that in a pin.
But I get what you're talking about.
Stop stifling people with that dumbass idea about reading only, right? Some people don't like to read. Some people like to be entertained by visuals, and that's okay as long as they're consuming information and being able to question the purpose of that information. But I went off on a tangent. I wasn't done. Wait, sorry.
Okay. No, it's good.
The reason why I'm saying that is because we oftentimes forget that the one way, the very foundational way that we were supposed to be able to transact information, which started off with reading, writing letters, and things of that nature, being able to exchange language.
Right.
We were not allowed to do that for a long fucking time. We're delayed here. So when we get caught up, when we come and we supersede, that is meritocracy. Major Coleman, one of my favorite professors, told me that because other folks had a head start. But we oftentimes look at that and like call us ignorant, not recognizing that all of us don't have somebody in the corner who was able to be sent off to college and come back and say, like, let's do this thing. Not only that, people speak about this thing about tribalism, and, like, I can't speak on it because I didn't do too much reading on this idea of tribalism, right? And they speak about tribalism being like this thing of sticking within your community, or no? Or is that, like, the opposite?
So it came up before where we're saying, like, inherently, I guess we don't, as a people, we're tribal. Mm-hmm. So we're kind of like, I protect my family, but I'm not protecting your family.
Yes.
Right. Which I don't see how that's true, because at the same token, we come from the people that say the neighborhood raises the child.
But that's because the more access we have to
tribe, though,
the more access we have to shit, the more exclusive we become, in my opinion. And I felt as though we became that way as a people. We became more westernized or selfish and like less communal about like less willing to share a cup of sugar with your neighbor.
Right.
When like you had to come here. One, because of the pressures, but then two, that's the world that we look to aspire to. Like, that's what imagery shows us, right? That's the thing to do. So by nature, we're excluding our families when, like, our families are the ones who need to be brought the fuck up. Mm-hmm. But as soon as we get a little money, it's you should have worked as hard as I did, right? So, like, there's so many layers and levels to it. It's beyond black people just not wanting to think critically.
Right.
We just trying to figure out how to wake the fuck up.
All right.
I disagree, but
I get it.
No, I get where she's coming from.
On the surface, but it's still the next level of. I feel like what you're basically saying is that we don't have time to think.
Some of us don't.
So so it kind of we're saying the same thing because we're saying that we don't think critically. You're saying we're not thinking at all.
That's real.
No, right. No, but this is hold on, but this is where I'm coming from, right? This is where I'm coming from. And maybe I should have further put my backtrack. So I'm speaking on a mindset.
Can I add one point of clarification?
Yes.
I think as a country of people,
right,
we're taught not to think though. If I can say.
Oh yeah, that's like the agenda. The agenda is on social media. Don't think. Right. Scroll.
And for me, that doesn't necessarily make black people any different from.
But it's an analyzation, though. Yeah. I only really not like that. You know what I'm saying? I care. My real. I want to say this before I say what I'm going to say. Mm-hmm. You know, I'll say the wrong thing first. I really only care about black people, right? So beyond that, though, my real agenda, though, I feel like I care about humanity. That's beyond that. I was just taught to have a black centricity.
But she ain't want us that. But she ain't want the West Indian people to be having no reparations.
No, I'm just saying that's how it was filtered to me. That I'm just giving you what it is.
Bang!
But I'm saying
bang!
Because
bang! Okay. Gunshots! Bang! No.
But I was like, what? Okay. But no. So I wanted to say that, but that's not true because how I see. I really just hate that there's so many differences, not even with black people. I'm talking about with all people.
Right.
I feel that if we focus on being better humans, that's my real overall thing. But as a black woman in this country, when I'm speaking, I'm always speaking because I was taught to have a black core. Mm-hmm. My centricity is black. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm not embraced as a human by non-black people. You see what I'm saying?
So you're less inclined to care about the Native American.
Well, not even. But I want to also say, because my homegirl brought this up to me, right? Because I forgot, and I want to just say this: as a creative, though, as a creative, I automatically am naturally inclined to create with all people. Creatives don't see color.
Right. As an artist.
As an artist, just as a creative,
and it's not just music. I wanted to be clear. Artists, because I'm an artist. No.
But because that kind of is essential. If the world, this is like kind of like this is where it's fantasy, right? But if the world could just be like that, where you don't see color, where you naturally create and you produce, we wouldn't have these. But I'm saying beyond that, though, I'm black first, and that's how I was taught from as a teenager. And I also don't feel. The arguments that we had today, it's not a shot, but I also don't feel that black people as a whole start from the point of black centricity. That's the problem. So when these things happen in the world, this is where we're saying is critical thinking.
Right.
Is because the starting point from which these things happen, it's not automatic to every black person. They're not starting from a black core. They're starting from a worldly core or a core that's non-black.
I think even that in itself is very subjective to the person because like black centricity for you is going to be something that is going to be something completely different for you than it is for me.
Mm-hmm.
No, not really.
No, I get where she's coming from with that.
Where my initial stance never changes though, because I always say every topic, no matter what the topic is, I say that we focus too much on the differences and not on the similarities. Mm-hmm. So it never changes. Mm-hmm. So even with reparations, I'm saying that okay. And then we're gonna go off of it. We gotta close out. But the reason why it's a part of the candidacy is because it includes what happens in this country. So that means that America will be cutting the check. That's how it works. So black people are probably entitled to reparations around the world. But the focus, the check is, or that whole agenda will come from the president of this country.
I got that part. I was like, for me, that conversation in itself is shoddy because I feel as though the United States of America, like, that's going to be the thing that they hold on to, that they can't have that conversation independent of other countries. So like, for me, I can't even wrap my mind around the idea of this conversation happening because it doesn't, for me, like, don't do it because it's cute. Do it because we're actually going to do something about it. And
which
for me,
is going to be the high possibility.
Right? But I think that a lot of black people see it as impossible. So that's also where the problem is coming from. But it's very, very, very possible. And then what I will do, I'm going to start sending the stuff that was sent to me. So you guys can...
And so then that's another thing. But I'll speak about that offline. I had some thoughts today, inspired some thoughts about how we operationalize our...
Right.
Shit.
Again, we have to close out.
Ooh.
I want to apologize to you, Reef. I'm just
a
saying
show,
it because
man.
but
this
you.
is good TV.
No.
It's good TV. But what?
No, I was about to say she gonna want to say what she's saying, so go right ahead.
Yeah, I'm just saying that.
She's being professional.
Yeah, because I don't want it to be personal. You know what I mean?
Personal.
But you know why I'm even addressing it? Because what annoys me though, and you're not the first person who said that, right? I don't care about you or anyone disagreeing. Her and I disagree as well. The problem comes in, and I realize that because I debate all the time. It cannot always be simply reduced to it's just my opinion. And that is where the argument comes from, because I'm just saying that this topic is not just based on people's opinions. Yes, on the surface about who gets what, but the guts of it, I feel like our argument was just simple, like, miscommunication, and then
it was.
What I guess what makes my what scuffs my Timbs with you is that you kind of like it gets to the point where I'm trying to articulate. I'm not trying to say that you're dumb or you're whatever. I'm saying that I'm before we even get to that point, I'm telling you where it's coming from, and then you kind of just shitted on that with looking up a word that I distinctly said was explained a certain way. And not only this, I'm talking about when we always go back and forth. It's not that I care. I just don't want you to think that I am upset about you disagreeing. I like people who don't agree. But the challenge, the back and forth comes from, okay, you're just simply, this is why I say it comes out, this is how I look at it. The back and forth comes from, it's a surface opinion. And I'm giving you something that is substantiated, and you're telling me, well, it doesn't matter because it's just my opinion. No, it does matter. The only thing that can trump opinions is an educated opinion, and the only thing that can trump an educated opinion is facts.
Pure facts.
So the argument is you can't just end up closing the comment. Oh, it's just my opinion. No, you can't even walk around thinking that it can be reduced to just your opinion.
But out of this is a topic where there is no factual end point to say this is the basis, this is the factual end. It's a slippery slope, which is, I think we always saying is there's no way to dissect to say, hey, these people are entitled to it, these people aren't. Like people in Q's situation who one parent is, from American descent, one parent is not. So what do you say to them? What about the people who can trace their lineage back only 2 generations? What about the people who can do it for 4 generations? Like it's a slippery slope.
So at that point, before we argue, that's
where
I'm saying that we need more information, and that's why I also prefaced what I was saying, that I don't have enough information.
I think what we should have done was acknowledge that you said that, because I think what happened was you were speaking about the political aspect and it being a topic of conversation in the political realm, and I think like in hearing that we were like, oh shit, like that is a topic. I knew I didn't know anything about it. And so I recognize that you said, like, oh, we need to become more educated about it. Bet. Got it. No, no.
No, I'm saying
I knew you were talking about we.
As the person that's like, you stupid.
No.
I'm not trying to be that person.
I know that. I know that you were saying we, but I think we were just saying, I think we had moved and said, like, okay, move beyond the political aspect of it. If we're talking about it, let's challenge, like, the whole idea of reparations. So I think it's just that we didn't say, like, yup, and... Like, and let's talk about like the idea of reparations as a whole, like who's entitled and stuff like that. So I think it was just we didn't hear one another at that moment, and we didn't have a clear transition.
Right?
Are we like reflecting on air?
That's cool. That's good because I went.
Take it home, people.
No, I
want
it to be stated on air because
you need that.
You know, it is what it is. So we're gonna close out Unpopular Opinions.
Yeah.
Shout out to our guests.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Yes.
Give your social media.
You already know. You can follow me at the Remo Marac. That's TheReemo Marac, all in one word, MEERAK. Also, too, follow my TV show, The Reem TV. And also, too, catch me on City Rock Radio, actually later on after this.
Okay.
Tonight from 7 to 9 p.m. And, hit me up.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
We out.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming through,
Woo!
bro.
Yes.
Chill.
Yeah.
Good night. Wait, why did I say good night?
You West Indian. You can say
I
good
know.
night.
No, that's facts. No, that's facts.
Good night is acceptable.
That's
And I hope you know that it's passion because I am not a confrontational person.
No, that was good. I was like,
I know.
I feel like
And I normally I do it. I'm not confrontational,
in my
but sometimes, and I need to
I ain't gonna lie. In my
emphasize
head, I
hand.
said, "Oh shit."
It's
That was
because
good.
I've been doing it